to unearth. A nation in which the wealthiest people are becoming phenomenally rich, while we have over 40 million people living in poverty. The very least that we can say is that nobody in America goes.
The Pied Piper Bernie Sanders for the middle class. What a GOP wants to put our interests last. He's gonna give it to you raw, no hesitation. With the right ideas to lead this great nation. No handouts, no special interest groups. He don't lie to give votes, he's telling you the truth. And while the media wants to downplay him, he's still gonna fight. Tell him all he ain't playing. Push him for higher wages so we all can feed our families. The only one I know who can conquer this insanity of this Wall Street bickering, belittling the poor. Dollar bills, only thing they considering. When people need health care, kids need school. When it comes to politics, Bernie's breaking rules. No attack gets on the competition's needed. He's running on the facts and it's something that we needed. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. You see him scared shook, he's a democratic socialist, but they don't even know what it means, they just roll with it. Get over it, check the resume, fighting for civil rights ever since the first day. While other candidates still with their hands out, we do it old school, grassroots stand out. Cause this is our time to have a voice to serve. You fat cats had your chance, now it's our turn. They say he can't win, he's too liberal, way too extreme, too honest and too cynical. They want another robot politician, the same old rhetoric, now they gon' listen. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
Millions and millions of working people who are working hard but are not making enough money to put bread on the table or to take care of their kids, and that has got to end.
The time has come when people all over this country create a political movement which says to the billionaire class, you can't have it all.
Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
I guess it helps to have the mic on. Hey, everybody. Feel the burn. Tony Tig. I'm here with Janine. I'm going to stop that from playing more stuff. Hey, everybody in the audience. I see you guys, John and Hannah and Hotspot and Miles. Hey. We will connect. I swear to God, we will connect. Ashish. Who else is in here? Us. Talking stuff. Yes. Hi, everybody. Angel. Bernie, Eugene, Dylan, John. Hi, guys. Queen Shrew. Yeah, so what we've got going on today is this is just another race relations forum, a race and economic opportunity forum. There's like 3 different names for this across the 3 different streams that I found. Bernie Sanders is calling it one thing. This is the title that Steph put on the card based on what we saw on the live stream. And the live stream itself today it says Black America Community Forum, and this is we're going to grab a feed today from Unicorn Riot is the stream. I'm just going to show you this guys right now. So I want to make it clear that this is the Bernie TV stream, and we do things a little different here. We have the conversation with you guys. We do the lower thirds. We have a pre-show, a post-show, but you're always welcome to go watch the stream on the original feed. We're usually grabbing a feed from somebody else. In this case, we're going to use the Black America Community Forum. It's their live stream, and we'll drop that link. We'll get that link in chat. we're not, the idea is just to spread the word about Bernie. It's just to get the bird out there. And so we're not trying to be exclusive. And so we thank all of these groups, the independent media agencies that put these streams out and allow us to carry them, like PBS Debate earlier this morning, Black America Community Forum today, local stations like WMUR, CARE. They're really helpful. TYT. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Just wanted to. Was there a great piece from TYT yesterday? The CBC PAC? You want to talk about the CBC PAC? We can do that. We can do that. Let's talk. There's some stuff to talk about. There's some really cool stuff to talk about. Hi, Janine. Janine's in the back with me. She's iconic, but she's here.
Hey there. Hey, John, can you turn up your volume just a smidge?
Yeah, I can.
For the people in the watching? Thanks.
That's really scary that I'm not loud enough. We need to fix that. I should always be loud enough. All right. So let me know if that audio is a little better, folks. We can definitely turn it up for you. If it's not, there we go. Let's try that. So that was we got some interesting news, like just happened news that I was looking at. There's a couple things we want to talk about. I want to play a video by Tim Black, a message to Black South Carolina voters about Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I think it'll really help with a lot of stuff. I see people asking about wanting to talk about, yeah, exactly. Right there, Ray. Thank you. And yeah, Robin Morris. Thanks, Unicorn Riot. Exactly. 11 out of the 20 reps that support Hillary from the CBC PAC. Now, I don't understand that there is the Black Caucus and Representative, I don't remember his first name, but Representative Ellison is a part of that. Keith Ellison is a part of that caucus, that larger group of Black individuals in the Black Caucus. This group, the CBC PAC, is not the Black Caucus. It is a super PAC. It is a PAC of individuals. 11 out of 20 of them are lobbyists. This is the same thing we've seen all over the place, folks. We see this everywhere we go. Hillary says, look, I got a donation from this big group. No, you got a donation or you got an endorsement from the board of directors who can make that decision on behalf of all the people in the group. They really shouldn't be making that decision. And it appears that now that entire group of people support Hillary Clinton. And what we've seen time and time again is those people say, wait, I didn't get to vote on that. That wasn't my choice. When did anybody ask me? I'm certainly not supporting Hillary Clinton. And on the opposite side, we see Bernie Sanders saying, I have the support of the people. We know he has the support of the people. We see that in the donations, 333,000 requests per minute. When Bernie Sanders said, could you please go here and donate? It's like the first time he'd really just said, please go here and donate right now. Let's make a splash. That's the power of the people. That's when you actually have people behind you. When you say you have a super PAC behind you, like the CBC PAC, what you're really saying is, I don't have enough human beings to really support me in my effort to become president. What I do have is a lot of powerful 1% human beings, a lot of powerful people on the payroll of the establishment. And we have the ability to make it appear as if we represent all the people because we happen to be in authority. There's a very big difference between a small group of people in power endorsing somebody else in power and millions of the 99 endorsing Bernie Sanders, which we see time and time again. There's just a very stark difference. And people aren't dumb. Thank you for saying that, Jake. Bernie said that. Let's not treat the American people with disrespect. Let's not treat them stupid. Where do you think that Wall Street money goes? The fact that Hillary Clinton, I don't know why Bernie Sanders just come out and look at her. He literally did at the debate last night. Are you meaning to tell me, Hillary, that the money you've received did not directly affect your choices? Because we have proof. Go back to the video with Elizabeth Warren on Bill Moyers. Yes, Warren, we need to fix these things. But when I get into office as senator, I'm going to not do that. I mean, come on. There's the money affecting it. And the news just now, I want to read this from the Sanders campaign. Give me a minute to pull this up. and then we're going to play this video. But I think this is very important that we talk about this right now when we talk about PACs, when we talk about people that are endorsing and who they are and what that means. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can frame it out so we don't have phone numbers in it, because we don't want phone numbers in it. Hang on. Okay. This is Michael Briggs, the press guy for Sanders, and this is titled "Clinton Wall Street Funded Super PAC Enters Democratic Primary Against Sanders." Now, this is important, folks. This is important to understand how the money comes in. So, as reported in the Washington Post today, Hillary Clinton's Super PAC, Priorities USA Action, will be spending at least $500,000 in paid advertising in the South Carolina Democratic primary. Now, this of course happened after she was trounced in the debate. Immediately following the debate, this group says we need to put some money in. All right, so it received $15 million in donations, equating to 60% of all donations from financial industry interests. That's important there. This PAC gets $15 million in donations, 60% of all of its donations from financial industry interests, Wall Street. This represents the first time one of the pro-Clinton super PACs has purchased paid broadcast advertising. The super PAC previously said it would only deploy its millions for the general election against Republicans. Oh, until our candidate starts to lose. We didn't put that in there, did we? We didn't add that clause. We should have. Did we have an asterisk? We didn't leave that in the bottom line. Unless our candidate is losing. Sanders campaign manager Jeff Weaver said, "It is truly unfortunate that the largest pro-Clinton super PAC has decided to infect the Democratic primary process with its haul of Wall Street cash. Democratic voters expect more. Doesn't the Clinton campaign have the funds to run its own ads without resorting to its super PAC, which is funded by the very people Secretary Clinton has promised to take on?" That's a very key point here. She's taking money, Wall Street money, 60% of this money, $15 million in donations. 60% of that comes from Wall Street financial industry interests. Yet Clinton just said she's going to tell him, knock it off. On February 9th, Senator Sanders won the New Hampshire primary by over 20 points. Basically, what's happening here, folks, is they know they're going to lose Nevada because the Nevada numbers, as we see in the HuffPost pollster, show that they're tied. 45-45 in Nevada. And we know what that means because we know we have the people. So they're gearing up for South Carolina. They are perpetuating a myth of division. They're perpetuating a myth across establishment media that Bernie does not have the support of blacks, minorities. We know it's a myth, folks. And stuff like this CBC PAC is just it's a really lame, blatantly obvious, thin, cheap attempt at showing support from minorities. Let's watch Tim Black and what he has to say about Hillary and the Clinton family and where your support should be.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's your man Tim Black. I'm back. And I'm feeling good too because Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire last night. But I'm not too happy because I realize we got a lot more work to do. See, I need South Carolina. All my people in South Carolina, my black folks in South Carolina have to wake up and realize we need to move forward. Not back. Forward. Not back to the Clintons, not back to the Bushes, but forward. See, look, over the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear a lot of black pastors, a lot of black media people, a lot of black celebrities coming out for the Clintons. And they're going to have what I like to call selective memory. See, they're only going to remember Bill Clinton going on the Arsenio Hall show wearing sunglasses and playing the sax. They're not going to remember Bill Clinton passing laws that destroyed black families. They're not going to remember the 94 Crime Act, how Bill Clinton doubled down on the Ronald Reagan drug war policies and came up with the 3-strike law, which threw black folks in jail and threw away the key for 20, 30 years. Nonviolent drug offenders, drug possession. That was under Bill Clinton. In fact, we went from 800,000 people in jail to 1.3 million or more. That was not under a Republican. That was under a Democrat. His name, Bill Clinton. And I know some of y'all thinking, what did Hillary have to do with that? Everything. Hillary Clinton did not sit at home like some mommy just chilling, taking care of their child. No. Hillary Clinton went out on the stump campaigning for her husband. She was out there talking about black youth, saying that black kids were like super predators. They needed to be brought to heel. You know, heel, boy, heel. That was Hillary Clinton. See, I need you all to have long memories, not selective memories. So when people start talking about the glory days under the Clintons, you'll remember what happened with the Clintons. Families were ripped apart. Remember that. Remember that we only make up 12% of the population, yet we make up 40% of the prison industrial complex. And who got that kicked off? Who started that trend? Ronald Reagan, but it was continued and amped up by who? Bill Clinton. See, folks, we need to be thinking black folks. All my folks, you need to be thinking black America. Who has your best interests at heart? See, Bernie Sanders, he doesn't believe in mass incarceration. Nope. Bernie Sanders doesn't think it's right that we are 5% of the population and we house 25% of the world's prison population. Bernie Sanders doesn't believe that just because your child get caught with a little bit of weed, their whole life should be ruined. We should not be voting based on selective memory, but based on record and based on what people actually did for the black community. Not if they were cool, not if they like Patty's pies, not if they can play the sax, not because some writer said he's the first black president, but because he acted in the best interest of black folks. Bernie Sanders has fought for civil rights for the last 40 years. That's his record. Hillary, not so much. So black folks, all I'm asking you to do is to think about these things when it's time to vote in South Carolina. Think about your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your husbands, your children. I'm Tim Black. Join me at timblacktv.com. And remember, like I always say, feel the burn. Not a selective memory, a collective memory. Peace, bro.
Wow. I hadn't had a chance to watch all of that yet. Thank you, Tim, for giving us a perspective. I saw somebody say he speaks with conviction. It sure does. That's the truth. We heard a little bit about that this morning from my father's perspective on the Clintons in the 90s. He remembers this too. Certainly not from Tim Black's perspective. But that's important, folks. When we look at the endorsements coming across, the super PAC endorsements for Hillary Clinton, when we look at the fact that this PAC has just decided to spend a shit ton of money in South Carolina to convince voters that Hillary is the right way to go. Think about Tim Black. Listen to Tim Black. Don't listen to Hillary's ads. Listen to Tim Black. I'm seeing a lot of stuff in comments here. Great video, awesome video. Have not played the Eric Garner video, and I don't know where that is. Get that for me. Or what are we talking about? Janine? Eric Garner video?
They're talking about the Erica Gardner endorsement of Bernie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I read that wrong? Erica Gardner, my bad. Yes, it does say Erica Garner. I'm supposed to be wearing these. My bad. Do we have this? Can we get it? We could run it, I suppose. Or is that that's the we already ran it. That's the yes, we did run that. That's the longer one. That really grips you. Yes. No, we did run that. We can run it again. I'll have that. We will run that again. We did. Sorry. Just I'm really honestly still thinking about some of the things that Tim Black had to say. Moving on. Apparently there's some stuff going on that's been happening while I've been doing some other things with Hillary and ratings. I already knew this was going on, but I think this is even better numbers. Let's just take a look at some reality here. Here's the Clinton favorable rating. She is unfavorable, folks. This keeps going, right? And here's where we sit in Nevada Democratic Presidential Caucus. Notice a trend here. We are winning this. We are winning this battle, folks. We are. Dog's barking. Can you hear the dog? Probably can hear the dog. He's going crazy. I have no idea what's going on out there. But we're winning this battle, folks. We've got some footage that was captured by Ryan and Scott last night after the debate. And I was going to run some of these pieces. This is the first one I've got here is John Nichols. And this is an interview with John Nichols after the debate last night. The reason I want to go into this, now I remember what I was going to preface this with, is Janine dropped this in here. Oh, right. It's Not Over. I couldn't remember the title. It's Not Over. That's the Erica Garner. Okay, thank you. If you guys were watching last night when Hillary made the mistake, the judgment error, I want to point out something. Hillary's judgment, bad call on referencing Henry Kissinger. Okay. Apparently she has a selective memory, as do most of the establishment. She doesn't have a collective memory. Right? As I got older, and I said this morning, I learned the truth about Henry Kissinger. The school I went to taught me a very different history, a very on the outside history of who Henry Kissinger was. I learned the truth from my father and from exploring the internet. And, you know, referencing Kissinger was a bad idea. Even relating to the guy, you know the truth about him, he was a war criminal. What do you want to say, Jenny?
I was just going to say she didn't only reference him, she praised him and said that he should be like a mentor. And,
right.
You know, I recommend anyone out there to go on the web and search for, I think it's like the top 10 worst Kissinger quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. This man murdered, 100,000 civilians in Cambodia. Was a liar. He's the ultimate in establishment lies. And here's I want to show you this chart. Pull this up. Give me 1 second here. So, and I think John Nichols will talk about it. I know Tad Devine talks about it, but the media has been really attempting to nail Bernie on foreign policy, right? You have no foreign policy experience, and you know that's what we need. And foreign policy. They even tried to shove it in their faces last night. Don't we need foreign policy? The world's a scary place, and we have all this stuff and war and Russia and ISIS and that. Right? It's all about good judgment, folks. And here's the thing that they keep not saying about any of this. When we put Bernie in office, we are going to also clean out the rest of the corrupt people in office. That's part of the deal. We're not just going to we did it with Obama. We put him in office. We knew he was establishment, but it didn't matter. We thought, hey, he can just go in and make change. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. It wasn't possible. We know now that we have to put Bernie in office, and we have to change out 435 seats, and we have to change out a third of Senate. We know we have to replace establishment politicians with us, and we know we can. Any of us. Janine, me, you, Robin Morris, Teddy, Brom, Joseph, Brenda, all of you. Galactic Catastro, yes, even you. Okay, everybody, we can all run for office. And this is what Bernie is telling us to do. This is what Represent Us was telling us to do. We run for office, we replace the corrupt politicians. When that happens, right, it'll be a lot easier to pass all this legislation that fixes a lot of things. And it'll be a lot easier to come to a diplomatic consensus on everything, including foreign policy. because we'll be able to pull our fingers out of the rest of the world. I don't know if the younger generation knows just how much the U.S. has embedded itself all around the world in terms of military domination. We really do have our thumb on the planet in terms of being a thug. It's what we are. But here's a little chart. This is where Bernie won on foreign policy. You can't see the whole thing. That's not very impressive without seeing the whole chart. There you go. Google searches during the debate, Clinton, Sanders, Henry Kissinger. So right then and there, folks, that's when a whole bunch of millennials got a quick lesson on what an asshole Kissinger was and why it's not a good reference, right? If I've got a job reference from Henry Kissinger, it's like saying, Hitler said I was good, right? It's not going to do much for you. It's not going to do much for you. So let's listen to what John Nichols has to say. And we do have an interview with Debbie Wasserman Schultz as well, talking about superdelegates. But let's run this John Nichols. It's about 8 minutes here. Thank you for being with us on BTV.
Huge.
All right, since the last time we talked, there was a big win in New Hampshire. Were you expecting that kind of margin?
No, I didn't expect that kind of margin. My sense was that Sanders would undoubtedly win New Hampshire, but I was up there for most of this last week, and I saw the Clinton campaign, which was, I thought, doing a really full-on job. Went to a couple of Hillary Clinton events where I thought her speeches were stronger than in the past, and I saw her ground operations, and they looked serious. She had the endorsement of the governor. She had the endorsement of the Democratic U.S. Senator. So my sense was that it was probably going to close to in the range of 10 to 12. What was fascinating was it didn't close. And I think an element of that has to do with Sanders' appeal. No doubt of that. But I also think that the Clinton campaign is still really struggling to figure out how to respond to this. And I think that some of the responses that they mustered up in New Hampshire were perhaps more damaging to Hillary Clinton than beneficial. I think they were a little bit too over the top in some of their attacks on Sanders, and I'm just not sure that that really resonated with folks. Doesn't mean that the Clinton campaign won't figure out much more effective ways to communicate and to challenge Sanders, but I do think there were some stumbles there, and I think that's one of the reasons why that margin essentially remained as wide as anybody could have imagined.
And now the pundits are saying that the minority vote is going to be a firewall for Hillary Clinton. Van Jones pointed out that Bernie won among women in New Hampshire because of the young women, and he said there's no reason to think that young Hispanics and young African Americans might turn out for Bernie.
Yeah, I'm always a little unsettled by the use of the word firewall, because that presumes a particular community, particular group of people are just locked in, and they aren't going to be listening to the campaign or aren't going to pay attention to things. And I don't believe that. I've covered an awfully lot of elections in urban areas and big cities, and also in the rural South, where the electorate was a predominantly African American electorate. And what I've seen is, and what I believe strongly, is this is a sophisticated electorate. These are folks who vote on a variety of different concerns, and that, yes, they're going to vote for people that they feel are, most in line with their views and most in line with their concerns. And yes, I think Hillary Clinton has a real advantage in the African American community and to a pretty good extent in the Latino community. But what I would suggest to you is that there's a lot of campaigning ahead of us, a lot of communication to be made. And what we've seen so far is that when the campaign heats up, younger voters, no matter what their background, seem to have a great deal of interest in Bernie Sanders. Also, one of the other divides that I've found really interesting as I've looked in the first two states, so we have to be cautious about this, is that among low-income voters, people who are making under $30,000 a year, and these are folks who really are struggling in many situations. And Sanders does very, very well. His percentages go down as you move up into over 200,000, over 100,000. People who are doing a little better, or maybe a lot better. And so I would not rule out that you will see a substantial movement among voters who are perhaps younger, some low-income folks, some other, across all the demographics towards Sanders as you get into these other states. That will close the gap. But he also has responsibilities as well. He comes from an overwhelmingly white state. He comes from a circumstance in which his focus has been heavy duty on economic issues for a long time, which many people find tremendously appealing. But, it is very vital for him to communicate effectively a deep concern about racial injustice, about immigration, about police violence, about mass incarceration, but also about the particular harm that is done to the African American community when we have an austerity economics. And this is the onus here is on Sanders. It is his job to get out there and communicate. I think you've seen him doing it on the stump. He has incorporated a lot of a much broader message into his speech, but he's gonna have to continue to do that, and he's gonna have to drive it home and work very hard, because it is about building a relationship with people, and that relationship isn't just built on what you say. It's also built on a real sense that you understand, that you get it, and that your sense of priorities is broad enough that you're gonna bring in people who often have been historically neglected and left behind.
One thing that there's a buzz on the internet is a lot of the networks are reporting the superdelegates.
Yeah.
And they're not showing a separate count of the contested or the committed delegates. And is there a reason, do you think?
Well, that's a very important issue. And same thing we had back in 2008. And in that case, Barack Obama's supporters were very concerned about an overemphasis on the full delegate count, rather than looking at what a candidate has actually won, the so-called pledged delegates. And I think it's important in this year as well, for a reason that's different than just the Sanders versus Clinton dust-up, right? They're obviously Sanders people want to have a reporting of the pledged delegates because they've been doing pretty well. The Clinton people want the superdelegates reported because obviously that bumps their number up, even in places that they haven't won a majority, or at least haven't won a big majority. And so, that's your politics, and campaigns do that. What's more important, in my view, is a subtlety that I think people forget about. Superdelegates are free to switch their allegiance at any time, right up till they cast their vote. And it has happened a lot historically. And so for the networks to announce superdelegates at an early stage is to neglect a potential of movement and a potential of rethinks on people's part. And I'm not necessarily talking about superdelegates going from Hillary Clinton to Bernie Sanders. I'm talking about potentially, depending on how this race goes, some superdelegates saying, I don't like either of these folks. I really now I'm looking to try and draw somebody else in, right? Or as has been discussed. So I think that the networks, I think everybody would be very, very well served if they simply did a dual column. Just say pledged delegates in these states, and then here's also where the superdelegates are. It's nothing wrong with reporting it, but make it clear to people what has been won so far and what is supportive, sympathetic, but not necessarily locked in.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Good luck to you.
There we go. That's exclusive. Well, it's not exclusive, but it is for us. It's reader-supported news. Scott Galindez there, and I don't know who was holding the cam for him if he had it set up, but just know that we had Scott and Ryan there. Both of them captured footage. Both of them captured different perspectives of the fight for 15. Which, if you didn't catch that earlier on the newsroom, sorry guys, my eyes just got all glassy here. If you didn't catch all that from the newsroom earlier today, I want to run that clip because it's insane. Fight for 15. There was just, if you want to see I doubt that mainstream media was showing this. I don't know, Janine, did you see anything or hear anything about them covering the rally, the Fight for 15 demonstration that occurred prior to the debate last night?
Not really. I think I saw it very briefly for like maybe a minute, but they didn't talk about it at all from what I saw.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have entire footage of the whole thing, and Ryan said it was just a really crazy. I mean, there was a lot of people there. They were screaming. It was powerful. It was powerful, and this all happened before the debate. And I guarantee you, there's going to be no other coverage of it than what other independent media covers it, and us, right? Completely out of that perspective for the collective memory of those watching establishment media, right? How do you build a collective memory that's accurate and true if you're not presented with what it is, the truth? If you're not presented with what's going on? That Fight for 15 rally completely changes perspective on that debate, knowing that those people are there. Here's something else I want to point out that somebody was saying in chat. I don't know who you are. We have 100 who you are. I didn't see your name. 150 viewers, which means you probably have about 170 in there. 520 playbacks. Thank you for joining us. 188, according to Janine. We will play that It's Not Over. We're just waiting for the Black America Community Forum to start. And what I want to do, folks, is I want to honor Unicorn Riot here. Thank them for putting this on. And here's the card that Steph made. I want to read what they say here. Unicorn Riot says, live soon. We expect to be live around 4:30. We're streaming the community discussion with Bernie Sanders in Minneapolis Northside community on issues facing the Black community and other communities of color. This forum will be a historic opportunity for community members to converse with the presidential candidate and ask for real responses about the pressing issues facing Black communities. Well, that's probably why Hillary decided not to show up. They want real responses, specifically in Minnesota, which is home to the third highest level of racial disparity in the nation, according to a study done by the ACLU. This event is hosted by Minnesota Neighborhoods Organizing for Change, MNNOC. That's Minnesota Neighborhoods Organizing for Change, MNNOC. Unicorn Riot is your nonprofit, volunteer-operated alternative media outlet. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation directly to them to support their work, we've dropped the page. I know we dropped the link to their live stream in there. Feel free to watch the forum on their live stream. Go to their website, help the cause. I think it's great. It's independent media. This is what we need. We're just one of the many independent media sources out there, and we all need to help each other, rely on each other. We are the new muckrakers. We are the muckrakers, a term coined by Teddy Roosevelt to describe journalists who were so busy and determined to tell the truth that they spent their time with their rakes staring down at the ground. This is literally a paraphrase of his quote. The muckrakers come from a term that Teddy Roosevelt said were journalists so focused on the truth that they were constantly just with their rakes scraping at the muck on the ground to uncover the truth. And that's what we are doing here. We are fighting a propaganda machine that is global. It is owned by 6 corporations. It's a giant 6 corporate organizations provide the propaganda for the world. And we have we get a unique experience at BTV because we talk to people around the world, and it's just as bad in other places. What they're saying, Steph was telling us the other day, somebody in Germany talking about just the distortion of what kind of a person Bernie Sanders is, and how they're making him appear in mainstream media. But we're covering this event today. So glad to be with you. What's going on in chat? What do we have here to say? How are we doing? Brom, Teddy, Frederick, Miles, Judy, 189, 185. You guys counting people? Nice. Fight for 15 was covered by CNN. Did they show that footage? Nice. And I agree. He needs to go off his stump here. I was kind of hoping he would have gone off his stump a little more last night. And he did get some good. Where's the meme? Did I download it? Shit, I don't know. Right down there. Let me see if I can find it. Jesse and Steph made some beautiful memes. One of them, which I'll find when we run another video, it'll give me time to pull it up. Of the moment, I don't know if you guys remember this, the moment where Hillary Clinton was scolding Bernie on disagreeing with the president. Oh, how could you disagree with Obama? He did this and he did this and he walked on water and he split the planet in half. She was like, just like Obama, great. No, if you truly believe in the establishment, if you truly believe the establishment has accomplished anything, then yes, you look at Obama and you go, woo. If you look beyond, if you get in the ground and rake the muck, what Obama has done is very little. And in honesty, he's boosted military programs. He's boosted the military industrial complex. I'm sorry. I agree. And here's the other thing. The meme that I'll find, we're going to run another clip. The meme that I find is she says, I've never disagreed with Obama. You ran against him, you dumb woman. She can't lie out of her lies. And that's what it is. She forget. Does she remember that she ran against Obama? She certainly had some differences then. Remember, she wanted to kick the kids back to their countries. She just went and said, we just need to get a hold of their parents and send them home. We don't want them here. They'll be fine. It's not that they're refugees fleeing a place that was murdering children and that's why they need to be here. Kick them home. Bye. That's my idea of human rights and immigration policy back when it was okay to be that way, right? Just like it was okay to be against gay rights, LGBT rights, back in the day when everybody was like, that'll never happen, right? Hillary has a record of changing her mind, changing her position as it suits to calm the people, just like every establishment politician has done for decades. Oh, you want that? We can talk about that. Just let me get into office first. You want that? We can promise that. Just let me get into office first. They don't call Bernie Sanders the amendment king for no reason. Okay. He said, I disagreed with President Obama because I'm a free-thinking human being. I should be able to disagree. And I don't associate with people like Henry Kissinger. Judgment. Hillary Clinton is lacking in good judgment because she is a politician for the sake of politics, in my personal opinion, not actually interested in caring for the nation or you. That's just me. That's my little runoff there. Let's look at one of the new memes that we got going on here. Here, I'm going to show you this one. This, by the way, folks, this is Janine's meme. She put this together. So I wanted to give her full credit there. It's very nice. It's very nice. Here's 2 minutes. 2 minutes with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It's about all I could probably take. So let's listen to this and see what she has to say.
Huge.
And there's a buzz on the internet about the superdelegates being reported. Do you think it's fair for MSNBC and others to be showing the superdelegate count and not showing just the straight count?
Well, this is an important opportunity for me to clarify the difference between pledged delegates and unpledged delegates. In Iowa and New Hampshire and every primary and caucus, the only thing a candidate earns is the pledged delegate. Those unpledged delegates, those are party leaders and elected officials who really are there so that we can just deem them as delegates and they don't have to run against our activists. We prioritize at the Democratic Party diversity, broad diversity that is represented at our convention. And if you have an activist who has to run against a member of Congress or a state party chair to get to be a delegate, that's going to kind of be an obstacle in their path that we want to clear away for them.
So when
remember
MSNBC
also remember the unpledged delegates can change their mind at any time.
Mean.
So
it's showing 400 and something delegates to 40 for Bernie or something like that.
It's I can't control the stuff that the media wants to highlight. I can tell you as the National Party Chair that the caucus and primary system is a fight for pledged delegates, and the unpledged delegates really are there so that we can make sure that we have an opportunity to have the most diverse convention possible.
So just to be clear, in pledged delegates, Bernie's ahead right now, right? Because
to be quite honest with
bigger
you,
margin.
I don't even know who has more pledged delegates because I'm just focused on trying to make sure we can manage the primary nominating contest and also get our party ready to support our nominee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So just to be clear, you won't give me a straight answer. Right. That's That's establishment politics right there. So just to be clear, you're not going to be clear, are you? That here's a simple litmus test for an establishment politician. Give me a yes or no answer. Give me a straight answer. If you can't give me a straight answer, I know you work for the establishment. It's so absolutely. I saw Miles say this video will make your head explode. Yes, I also saw another person say kill her with kindness. Yes, she's a human being. I saw some real, stuff coming through. She's a human being. We want, in that sense, fine. The words coming out of her mouth are offensive. Janine?
I was going to say, we need Tim Canova, and he's going to be on We the People, hopefully the last week of February.
There you go. Yeah, we need Tim Canova. Tim is running. He's running down there in Florida, and he's looking to take Wasserman's place. And I don't even know how that works. Do you know how that works, Janine? How they pick? How they?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's running against her for the Democratic seat.
Okay. So
and then he'll obviously have to go against the Republican, but.
Okay. Well, great. So we're gonna have him on the show, and yeah, we support Tim, and he feels the burn. It's all we got to do, folks, is replace establishment politicians with Bernie-crats, and we're finding them. We're bringing them on. We the People. Help us reach them. We've got a list. What we got? We go all the way through into mid-March now, don't we, Janine? With bookings. I know we've got a lot of.
Yeah, people. We've got quite a few lined up.
We do. We've got John Fetterman coming up at some point. Someday we'll have Nina Turner, but it's okay. We get lots of footage with her from Scott and Ryan these days, so we're glad of that. But look for a straight answer. Yeah. What did we say? Hi, everybody. Hey, Liberal Patriot. How you doing? Go Tim Canova. What are you saying there on Kissinger? When is this starting? It started. Now the actual event, guys, doesn't start. It hasn't started yet. What do we got? We're at 1:48. So it should have started already, Janine?
I think 10 more minutes.
Okay, so maybe they're starting a little late. This says 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Are we off by a whole hour? Am I going to sit here for another 45 minutes? We can do that. We have plenty of footage, guys. We can run videos. We can do footage. We can play games, talk, chat. I see you all in here. It doesn't look like I have any anybody to do comment mod. If there's anybody in the group that wants to do comment mod, we can get that going. Happy to do that. Don't have to.
Yeah, I think there was some confusion on the actual link. It said that it was beginning in 40 minutes. About, I don't know, when we were half an hour out from starting the show, but the press release said it was starting at 5 p.m., which I believe is Central Time. So that might be 6. So I don't know. We'll just keep an eye out and see as soon as it starts, we'll bring it up, obviously.
Yeah, great. Okay, good. So I'll just if you're monitoring, I will go back to this and we'll move on. Let's check out another video. Hey, everybody. I'm just reading stuff here. Hi. This is DWS clip from today that I thought you were going to show. It's even more insane. I guess she gets a good question. Oh, okay. Thank you, Miles. Dropping that other clip. We'll have to grab that. Miles just dropped a different DWS clip. I don't know. Is it something we also recorded? I know we've got 2 different pieces of material, but let's run this other clip. This is Fight for 15. And if this is the same piece, the footage we ran earlier, this is pretty insane, folks. Let me tell you why this is important to watch this stuff and important to get this stuff out. Mainstream media does not show the anger, the passion of the people. They just don't. They don't want the people to recognize that they're angry. They don't want the people to understand that collectively they feel the same. It's about division. So if the people in Nebraska are not aware that the people in Idaho feel the same about Wall Street, right, then it separates by dividing us and separating us and keeping us misinformed across this country. It hobbles our power. It makes us feel like we are alone, like we're isolated, but we're not. All of us together, we really all feel the same way. We really, truly do believe the same things because it's all common sense. Take care of ourselves. All the arguments about how we're going to pay for it are bullshit because our government is full of money. It just all goes places we don't want it to go. So forget what Hillary argues about feasibility. Forget the details about where it's going to come from and how it's going to happen. We've done D-Day, folks. We've gone to the moon on 16K in less than 10 years because one guy said, we go to the moon because it's hard. This is going to be hard. And when Americans rise like they do here before the debate and the media chooses not to show you this across the country, not to show you the March for Bernie that happened across the country, not to show you the 50,000 people that show up in stadiums to see this guy, then they choose not to inform the electorate about how they really feel.
We'll be back! 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 We'll be
Why are you here? Why are you here? Okay. Fighting for $15 minimum wage. That's the reason. And if they want my vote, they're gonna approve the $15 minimum wage. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. Let me get. Have you decided who you're supporting? No.
All we want is the Democratic Republicans keep them away and show everybody how to say it.
You were out here, you know?
Oh, I have no idea. My name is Romel from B15. R-M-E-L-L. Y'all have a
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Have you decided who you're supporting?
Bernie.
Have you decided who you're supporting yet?
Not sure. We support anybody that supports 15 in the union.
Bernie always says he supports $15 an hour. Hillary supports 12.
That's true. But at the same time, we need to get people on the lower level legislation to support the 15. You know, our state representatives, our governor. So we're looking to see who all the candidates are to support us, not just the big names.
Right, but Bernie, every stump speech, he talks about $15 an hour.
And that's wonderful. And I hope he is 100% genuine on what he's saying. If he does, then we will support. I'll support him. I say me. I'll support him if he does. But I'm still looking to see who else supports us, because that's not enough. We need 15 in the union for our state, and the president can't make that happen on his own.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's some powerful stuff. That's the second time I've seen that, and I love it at the end how that guy just kind of gives testimony right there. I'll support him. I'll speak for me if he does this. Actions, not words. When we look at actions, not words, and compare Hillary and Bernie's record, there's a whole lot of action going on in Bernie's record. I'm looking at the stream, guys. It hasn't started yet that I can tell, unless I'm looking in the wrong place. Janine, are you seeing that it's going?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, good. So still not going. I'm looking at some of your comments here. Really wonderful things that you guys are saying. Yeah, Scott and Ryan are warriors, and definitely the 99. I am glad that I don't do that. That is just an insane thing, to be in that melee, to be getting your camera in the right place, to be capturing the footage like that. It's just crazy. I'm sure it's exciting, but it's also, it's it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to do what they do. So very, very happy that they were down there. Yeah, that's why we're voting in real people. Something has shifted. The apathy that kept us going to shopping malls like zombies. This is Mistress Nana. I'm reading this. Something has shifted. The apathy that kept us going to shopping malls like zombies has turned into passion and commitment to an extraordinary now. This time I know it's for real. Me too. This time I know it's for real. I've waited a long time to see the people wake up. I didn't think it was going to happen. As I've told people before, everybody in this group, Janine knows, is before I decided to do this, I had booked tickets to Costa Rica, not to vacate. I mean, we're going to have vacation, but I wanted to go look for an expat home. I was going to move my ass out of the United States before shit really got worse. And that wasn't really a good way to look at things. We're all in this together. My planet's dying. Our planet's dying. Exxon knew 40 years ago they were destroying the planet, and our government worked with them and the media to hide that fact from us. We're 20 years behind a plan that was supposed to start 20 years ago. We don't have a lot of time left to fix our planet. We don't have a lot of time left to fix our people. We got to get shit done. Hillary Clinton is offering incremental, establishment-driven, with establishment record movement. Bernie Sanders is offering massive political change, FDR kind of change, Teddy Roosevelt kind of change. I'm going to go with the progressive. I'm going to go with the guy that gets that we've got to do shit now. I'm going to go with the guy that understands why these people are pissed off. Hillary doesn't understand why $15 is different from 12 and why $15 isn't even enough. It's just what we can accept right now. She doesn't understand that the people she takes money from, the super PACs that are going to spend $15 million on ads against Bernie Sanders in South Carolina. That's where her money comes from. All of that money, 60% of that money to be specific, comes from Wall Street financial interest. That's who she represents. How can she not? If you just base it on money. Bernie's money comes from us. Hillary's money comes from people in super PACs with a shit ton of money. Soros, $6 million drop. There's a big difference. We've got an opportunity here, folks. We need to take it. We need to take it. Here's as while we wait for this to start, you guys wanted me to run the, John, look right. Why liberal patriot? Why do I want to look right? You guys want me to play the Erica Garner video? Is that what's going on? I'm looking right. I'm looking right. This thing still hasn't started. Let me pull it up here. I was gonna run this other video, but I won't. Let's look at a meme. Here's one. Let's look at that one for a sec. Let me pull up the Erica Garner video.
Hey, John, while you do that, Barbara Visconti was asking in the chat room, did anyone see the story about Paul Ryan saying he doesn't think they have the votes to pass the TPP?
No.
I have not seen that. Thank you for Ryan for putting that in the doc for us, but I have not heard that.
Me either.
So if anyone has a link and knows about that, please share it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And maybe that's why Liberal Patriot was screaming, look right. Maybe that link was dropped in here. That's badass. We knew we were going to have to fight Congress on it, and we knew that that's where it was headed next. But I thought they were going to pick a sneaky time. Maybe this is a sneaky time. I don't know. But hey, if Ryan's saying don't have the votes, I mean, I would assume he's all for it, right? He's got to be all for it, along with Obama. This would be something you'd think they'd all just run through real quick. I don't know. I really know where that stands. Anybody know? Janine? Anybody?
Yeah,
oh, wait.
I'm looking right now. There's a Reuters article that came out. I guess it was yesterday, but U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Paul Ryan said on Thursday he does not see enough support to bring the Trans-Pacific Partnership up for a vote in the chamber, adding that the Obama administration must do more to persuade lawmakers to accept the trade deal. Quote, I don't think the votes are there right now because of the concerns about what's in the TPP, end quote. I am shocked.
Yeah.
Are they doing it just because it's Obama? Or like, I don't understand. I'm confused.
I'm happy either way, whatever Paul Ryan's reason is, which we never quite understand. If it's just to block Obama.
Are they afraid of losing their seats? I mean, every House seat is up for election.
Maybe. Is that capitulation? Is that what's going on here? Because who knows? Either way, it's a good sign. It's a really good sign. So that's good news. That's wonderful. We'll talk to that tomorrow on the newsroom. Definitely. Blue America PAC supports progressive candidates from dog catching. Yep. 469 of 535 congressional seats up. Yep. What are we reading here? Partnership or vote? Yeah, just reading some of your comments here. I don't know what's going on with the forum. It's not up yet, guys. We're waiting for it to show up, but I do have the video ready to go. So let's watch the It's Not Over video together and then see what's going on with the forum. Here we go.
This is everything that I have, my family. Family should be important to everyone. Mostly I like being a mother. Alyssa, she's 6 years old. That's my baby, my only child. She likes to read me books, sit down and talk with me about her school.
But there's a lot of sand in the car.
Recently, she just learned about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. She asked me, did Rosa Parks not give up her seat for a white man? And I said, yes. She said, but those in the old days, right, Mommy? And I had to explain to her that it's not really over. This is what Mommy is. I'm an activist. And the same thing Martin Luther King was. He fought for our rights. This is the same thing I'm doing in honor of her pop-pop. My dad's name is Eric Garner. No one gets to see their parents' last moments, and I was able to see my dad die on national TV. They don't know what they took from us. He wasn't just someone that no one cared for him or no one loved him. He was loved dearly. Alyssa misses my dad. She tells me, "Are you okay, Mom? Do you miss Pop Pop?" She wish she was here, so her mom wouldn't be sad anymore. I'm just trying to get the truth out there to tell his side of the story. He was being the loving, caring man that he was, and he was murdered. For a whole year, I've protested every Tuesday and Thursday. I feel like a representative for people throughout this whole nation because I'm doing this, I'm speaking out, me being his daughter. And that's what I want to do. I just want to tell my truths. I'm never giving up. I'm never going to forget, and I don't want the world to forget what happened to my dad. Our people died for this. Martin Luther King died for this. Malcolm X died for this. And who were they? They was protesters. I'm behind anyone who's going to listen and speak up for us. And I think we need to believe in a leader like Bernie Sanders.
It is not acceptable to me that we have seen young black men walk down streets in this country, be beaten and be killed unjustly.
There's no other person that's speaking about this. People are dying. This is real. This is not TV. We need a president that's going to talk about it.
The African American community knows that on any given day, some innocent person like Sandra Bland can get into a car, and then 3 days later, she's going to end up dead in jail.
I believe Bernie Sanders is a protester.
When a police officer breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable.
He's not scared to go up against the criminal justice system. He's not scared.
I want to see an America where when young black men walk down the street, they will not be harassed by police officers. They will not be killed. They will not be shot.
And that's why I'm from Bernie.
I don't know how many times I'm going to watch that and have a hard time coming back on camera. In the news, this is good. House Speaker Ryan, not enough support for TPP vote. Thank you guys for dropping that in there. Really appreciate you providing the news for us. We are the muckrakers together, folks. We source out the news and the truth because we understand that the establishment media will not deliver it for us. So this is a great article here. That's not what we want to see. You want to see that. And let's take a look at this. And what it says down here in the small section, U.S. House Representative Speaker Paul Ryan said on Thursday he does not see enough support to bring the Trans-Pacific Partnership up for a vote in the chamber, adding that Obama administration must do more to persuade lawmakers to accept the trade deal. That's hilarious. Janine just read that, but I wanted to show you the picture, and there's Paul Ryan's face. That's story one. That's wonderful. This is story two. And this is cut back to me here. This one is phenomenal. Bernie Sanders won 2,095 votes in the New Hampshire Republican primary. They wrote in, there were 2,095 votes of Republican primary in the days before the New Hampshire primary. Here, we'll just read together. In the days before the New Hampshire primaries, reporters encountered a curious phenomenon. Republicans or moderates who admitted a fondness for the Senate's only self-proclaimed Democratic socialist. Plenty of them crossed party lines to vote for him in the Democratic primary. 2,095 took Republican ballots and wrote in the name of Senator Bernie Sanders. So there were more than 2,000 that wrote in for Sanders. 540 were actually cast for Secretary Clinton. And then no other candidate came up close. Kanye West, the rapper and producer, earned one write-in vote. The None of this surprised the Sanders campaign, of course, because the Republican Party is not the Republican Party that even I knew. It is so far removed from a rational party. It makes absolutely no sense. It's gone so far to the right that it is just bizarre. I'm going to check in with comments, folks. And, to let you guys know, the stream has started. Okay. The stream has started on the Unicorn Riot page, but they're running past, this is previously recorded stuff, their street stuff. So they're showing some previous recorded stuff. And as soon as I see them kick on with the live event, we will kick over to it. My guess is they're not going to come on for another 15 minutes or so, but we'll see what happens. So I guess we're vamping for a little more time together. What do we have to say here? Alex Laws, Democratic Progressive in New Jersey. Yeah, we had him on We the People. It's probably on one of the channels that was deleted by YouTube. The last two have been deleted, but we have that. We get that uploaded for you. We have all the backups on that. What do we else we got here? Half the Republican write-ins for Bernie. More than half. Yeah, there's more than not 1,000. There was a smaller number. I was talking about the same thing. Killing the fact that we're going to kill the TPP. It looks like that. That's fantastic. And I just want to tie some knots. Let's make some connections here. Hillary backing Obama. Hillary, why this Obama's great. Obama is pushing the TPP, folks. Obama was pushing Keystone XL until he found out the people were like, fuck you about it. The people are fuck you about TPP, and Obama doesn't give a shit. He's not listening to the will of the people. He stopped listening a long time ago. He stopped listening, I really think, after the first year when he realized I'm not going to be able to do anything I wanted to do because the establishment runs this place. Fuck. I really think that's what happened with Obama. You want me to share the 13 minutes of Hillary Clinton lying? That's an awful lot of that. Yeah, that's a lot of that. Do you still hear people? Do you hear people sing the songs of angry men? Yeah. John, please play Bernie Sanders. Do you hear the people sing? I don't know what that one is. Give me a link to that one. Yep. We just got that link to the TPP thing. We ran that. Thank you, guys. Trish, thank you for dropping all these names. This is fantastic. Got people dropping in the names of progressive politicians. Alex Law, Tom Fegan, Gary Kroger. Tom and Gary were the first two politicians we had on We the People. And that's on Channel 1. The very first We the People we did, they're on there. I think it's on Channel 1. Channel 1 or Channel 2. And we had them on right after the JJ dinner or right before the JJ dinner, one of those two. Another piece of censorship history where Tom, I don't know if you're aware of this, but at that first JJ dinner, which shut down one of our channels, Tom and Gary both were supporting Bernie Sanders. Tom had actually written statements. They'd both written statements. And they were supposed to get up there on stage and talk. All three of the people that got up on stage were supposed to get up and talk. When they realized that Tom and Gary were both going to say that they felt the burn and that they endorsed Bernie Sanders, they changed the plan very quickly. They cut out those portions of the live event, and they had this woman get up there and announce all three people. That's why they were like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing up here. Tom was so angry, and we have this footage. It's actually, I loaded the JJ dinner on our Vimeo channel. Tom was so pissed that he grabbed a Feel the Burn sign or Bernie Sanders sign and walked up onto the stage with it and held it up in air. We have pictures of that. Tom has balls. Tom was like, I'm sorry. I was supposed to get a speech here. I'm for Bernie Sanders. Right? Tom is in Iowa, folks. Vote for him. Support him. Gary's in Iowa. Vote for him. Support him. These are the people we need in office. Bernie-crats. People with courage and integrity. We cover both stories. Here we're going here. We are still running previous events here on the Black America Community Forum here of Unicorn Riot. Gene, any new information I need to be aware of coming from chat or live production? Let's see. I gotta look in here. Nope. Jeff Weaver is up.
No, did you want to? Yeah, I was going to say, did you want to show the Jeff Weaver or Nina Turner Spin Room videos that Scott recorded?
Absolutely. Thank you. I will go grab them.
Great.
Yeah.
I have to say, huge thanks to both Ryan and Scott for making the trip up there because, getting up there for these guys, I think Ryan's in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, and Scott is in Iowa. So they both had to travel up there for this. So thank you to both of them. Coming from Rhode Island, I always think, there's people in Rhode Island who don't want to drive half an hour to get to the other side of the state. I can't imagine driving through something like Minnesota, where it takes 8 hours to get from one town to the next. So,
right.
But big thanks to those guys.
How come I've completely lost the Nina Turner interview? I'm sorry. You gave me ample.
I tried, John. I tried to
ample ramp time, and I have totally messed this up. Give me 1 second here. Here it is. Okay.
You got it? Good.
I got it. Yes. You're still on screen, but that's okay. You're an icon here. Here we go, everybody. Quality live broadcast editing. Only the best from me here at BTV. Okay. Here we go. This is a Nina Turner interview. It's about 3.5 minutes here. And here we go.
So clearly there's a lot of controversy today about the endorsement by the Congressional Black Caucus PAC.
Yes.
And Keith Ellison said that he wasn't even consulted about it.
Yeah, Congressman Ellison did say he wasn't consulted, and again, it's the PAC and not the CBC. Listen, people are excited when they get endorsement. Every candidate is. I was when I got endorsements too. But endorsements at the end of the day don't vote. People do. And it really is about who has the message to lift the people, and I certainly believe that is Senator Bernie Sanders.
And I guess I hadn't really heard the specifics of it today, but there were people saying that he wasn't.
They're trying to challenge his record. There's lots of people in the civil rights movement that one person or another might not know. I mean, for example, in Cleveland, Reverend Bruce Clunder, who laid down in front of a bulldozer in Cleveland to stop the building of desegregated schools and was killed by that bulldozer. I'm sure many people don't know him. He was a white minister. So again, there are lots of people who have been in the civil rights struggle. There's enough room for everybody in this struggle. So for anybody to say that he has not been actively engaged, all of his starting as a young man all the way up until this point, he has been fighting for social justice and equality for all people. And so the voters are ultimately going to be deciding that. And just like the voters in New Hampshire across diverse groups from young people, college educated, not college educated, young, a little more seasoned, overwhelmingly supported Senator Sanders, the more his message resonates out there, the more people are going to gravitate to him. I fully believe that. But ultimately, regardless of who endorses whom, the voters will have the final say. And that's the beautiful thing about this democracy.
And it's kind of over. I've only seen the endorsement of Harry Belafonte in press releases. I haven't seen the media even talk about that.
Well, as we know, before Senator Sanders, before there was a dead heat in Iowa, the corporate media rarely paid any attention to him. Mr. Trump really took all the oxygen out. People thought Senator Sanders was a fringe candidate until that neck-to-neck, almost virtually a tie between him and the secretary, and then overwhelmingly he won New Hampshire. And so now the corporate media is paying a little more attention to Senator Sanders and his message, and now his message is getting out to a broader audience, not just through social media. So we know that not only did Harry Belafonte endorse Senator Sanders, there's been countless state-level African-American elected officials and other elected officials across this country, both former and current, who have been endorsing him. There are actors who have endorsed Senator Sanders, but the endorsement that matters the most is the endorsement of the people, and that is what he is out there fighting for, talking about his message of universal health care, increasing the minimum wage, expanding and protecting Social Security. Those are the things that people want to hear about. The American people could give less than a care about who's endorsing whom. What they really want to know is, what have you done for me lately? Who is going to be the one that will take it to the status quo on behalf of the Americans? And I firmly believe that it is Senator Bernie Sanders.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Nina pretty much says it. It's walk the talk. It's I love Nina Turner. Everybody loves Nina Turner. She's so great. She knows how to say it. It's fantastic. Here's coverage, guys. The event started. There's the footage from, there's the live stream coming from Unicorn Riot there. We really want to thank them. And we will be bringing that feed. I did hear that there was another feed from a different streaming company. And if we do have that, we could bring it to you and maybe pull in different angles. I saw that earlier today, and I'll try to grab it. But just so you know, that's the stream. Looks like they're still getting things set up. They're not quite ready to go. And we have a nice, clean view. Looks like a good quality signal. And hopefully they're tapped into the board. And we'll have a really nice time watching this event with Bernie Sanders. Hillary is not there. Hillary doesn't need to actually speak to the people. She doesn't really communicate with the minority. She just goes to make sure she's got a PAC that can donate, that represents a very, very small number of individuals. So good for her. And I don't know how many of these things Bernie's done. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many of these things. Martin O'Malley has been involved in at least one that I recall. I don't know. I don't recall Hillary being at any of these, really. Maybe one. Maybe there's one. Something get up there. Yeah, so not ready. What else do we want to do, guys? What do we want to look at? Who do we want to talk about? What's we saying in comments? Yeah, Nina. Actually, that's it. And she will hand you your own ass. Nice, cynical girl. Yes, she will. I believe she would do that. And here you go. Now, that's Tina Turner. I believe that Bernie Sanders will get the job done. And here's your ass. I love that. Yeah, she's awesome. Like I said, hopefully we'll have her on one of these days. Soon. Guys, Bernie sings. I keep seeing this show. Bernie sings. I can't. You know what? Look it up. Somebody drop me a link. You guys are sitting there at home. Wait, there's a link up here. What is this? Is this? Oh, this is a lovely. I'll just show this just because it's. Anybody watch At Midnight? I really am a big fan of the Nerdist, of Chris Hardwick. I'm a Hardwick fan. He works for the corporate establishment, and I commend him for having worked really hard to get there. But he really had the idea early on of taking shows and adding engagement, of talking with the audience. And he's a very open. What he does with the Talking Dead, I have a lot of respect for. And At Midnight is a groundbreaking show in terms of involving the internet. But they have a segment. The reason I brought that up, it's the whole reason I mentioned Chris Hardwick, not just to say I'm a fanboy, is he has a segment called "What the Fuck, Florida," right? Because Florida is just what the fuck. And here, this was the meme that I caught the link. These are the Florida House representatives that voted to frack Florida yesterday. This is 1/27/2016. Notice two things they have in common. One, they're all Republican, and their terms are up. Okay. All of these people, folks, state of Florida. Do you want to save your state? Because a lot of it's going to be underwater soon. This group of individuals just voted to frack in your state. Fracking is about the dumbest fossil fuel concept it's just stupid. Let's poke a shitload of holes in our ground, and then let's pour a whole bunch of toxic water in there and wait and see what happens. Oh, but we get shale out of it. It's just the dumbest shit ever. No environmental impact there. Nothing. Oh, and by the way, we've known for 40 years that we've already fucked the planet. 40 years. 40 years. I don't see anybody going after Exxon. Hey, federal government. The only way, folks, we're ever going to be able to put Exxon in jail, liquidate the company, and use its money to rebuild our energy grid is if we put Bernie-crats in office, because these guys aren't going to do it. These guys are okay with fracking Florida, which already has some serious problems. So we really need to do something different there. Really need to do something different. I swear, guys, I'm watching. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happened. Hasn't changed. See? There it is. What else do we have to say? The link is on your Facebook page. Guys, I look at my Facebook page like once a week. I do Twitter. I am the Bernie Twitter. mostly. Sean Porter is the other Bernie Twitter, and so I look at the Bernie Twitter, and I am in Slack, and then I'm here with you guys, so I get it out of here. I see all these. I get it. I don't Facebook. I hate Facebook. I just don't like the interface. I don't like Facebook. That's just me. I was a Google Plus snob for a long time. Let's look at some memes so I can pull up some other footage, and we'll run another clip while we wait, because that's where we're at here, is looking at clips. This is a great, there you go. Give me 1 second. Janine, are you seeing any other streams?
I am not currently.
All right. So this is it Justin or Jamie Bamberg, Representative Bamberg? Do you know? I'm so bad with
Yep,
this.
it's Justin Bamberg.
Justin, thank you. Okay. We're going to watch a clip, testimony, 2 minutes, 31 seconds. Justin Bamberg. Here we go.
Do you think he's pretty well known in South Carolina?
There was a time when he wasn't, but what you are seeing is that he is picking up steam. You know, people see me knowing that I've come out in support of Senator Sanders, and the first thing they yell is, "Hey, people's rep, feel the burn," and they give me the fist bump. And this is going on. This is average citizens. These are not elected officials. These are mom and pop folks at the store. People know who he is, and a lot of people like what he's talking about. They like what he stands for, and I really think what it is that Bernie makes it very clear, and he made it very, very clear tonight that he stands for the average citizen, the working class people, the middle class people, the poor people, the people that so often feel powerless in a system where the power is held by a few. They feel voiceless in a system where the people with the voice are the few. Senator Sanders' message resonates with people, including African Americans in South Carolina. You are going to see that come the 27th, when we have our primary, those numbers will be a lot closer than I think people believe. Thank you.
Okay, Van Jones said that just like young women put Bernie over the top in New Hampshire, that it's possible that young African American voters could close that gap with minority voters.
Yeah. You're going to see Bernie has so much support. Let's start with the younger crowd. Okay, it's indisputable that Bernie Sanders is winning the race when it comes to young voters. I myself am only 28, so we're talking about our age group, where people think the cutoff may be 30 years old. In South Carolina, it's actually about 50 years old, and what you're seeing is that people 50 and below are favoring Bernie Sanders. The more he gets name recognition, the more they work, the more they call, the more they door knock, you are going to see more and more and more African Americans realizing exactly what Bernie's message is, and it's a message that they like, because it's a message that appeals to the values that they hold dear and the problems that they face in everyday life. So yes, that gap is going to close. African Americans are going to play a significant role in that.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Justin Bamberg, Rep. Bamberg. Here's the deal. I'm watching it. This is going to start in just a few minutes. It looks like they're getting people settled. They're kind of doing some pictures, doing some stuff. You can see it going on. I have the video that you guys have been talking about. I'm sorry. I'm slow. I'm old and slow. So let's look at that for a second while I pull up this video, and we will watch it here. And like I said, as soon as this thing starts, there'll be some intro things going on, and then we'll cut over. Looks like they're singing a tune. We could listen if you want. Yeah. Okay.
We got dead air.
I know, guys. I know. Look, listen, this is what I do. I don't know what to do with Detta. There's 250 of you watching there. Janine talk.
297 now.
297, almost 300 people. You're looking at a meme. What do you need? You don't need to hear anything, guys. There's Janine's face. All right. I was waiting for it to load up here. It took a minute to load up on live stream, and now we're gonna just some guy might be up there talking. Here's the audio, folks. All right, so they're not quite going. They're not quite going yet. But we're ready. We've got it ready. We're gonna watch this video. Okay. That it's got all this. Do you hear the people sing? It's 5 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm gonna cut into it though if we see them start with the intros, and I know you're just like, why are we looking at Janine? It's so that's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna cut into that. If this runs long, we're watching them right there. So here we go. That's Janine. There we go. By big request, apparently, we're gonna watch this video that I haven't even seen.
Lost in the valley of the night, it is the music of a people who are climbing to the light. For the wretched of the earth, there is a flame that never dies. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. They will live again in freedom in the garden of the Lord. They will walk behind the plowshare, they will put away the sword. The chain will be broken and all men will have their reward. Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Somewhere beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Do you hear the people sing? Say, do you hear the distant drums? It is the future that they bring when tomorrow comes. Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Somewhere beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Do you hear the people sing? Say, do you hear the distant drums? It is the future that they bring when tomorrow comes.
When we talk about our responsibilities as human beings, as people who inhabit this planet, as caretakers for the earth, we must understand that we have a moral responsibility to leave this planet habitable for our kids and our grandchildren.
Do you hear the people sing, singing the song of angry men? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see?
Then join in the fight that will give you the right to be free.
Do you hear the people sing, singing the song of angry men? It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Will you give all you can give so that our banner may advance? Some will fall and some will live. Will you stand up and take your chance? The blood of the martyrs will water the meadows of grass. Will you hear the people sing, singing the song the sun will rise. We will live again in freedom in the garden of the Lord. We will walk behind the plowshare. We will put away the sword. The chain will be broken at home and we'll have their reward. We'll you join in our crusade. We will be strong and stand with thee. Somewhere beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Do you hear the people sing? Say, do you hear the distant drums? This is the future that we bring to all of us. Will you join in our crusade? We'll be strong and stand with thee. Somewhere beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Do you hear the people sing? Say, do you hear the distant drums? This is the future that we bring to all of us.
I don't want to see you. That was my bad. That was cool. I have not seen that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me, guys. Thank you. It looks like they're talking. Looks like they've got somebody going here, at least rallying the crowd. I think we'll just cut to it, turn on the audio, and see what's going on. Run from there.
It's because it tells us that we shouldn't love ourselves. This world tells
It's buffering a bit here, guys.
recognizing who we are and recognizing humanity across the board for everybody. Cease heterosexual men lives matter, though they do. We talking about black trans lives. We're talking about black women's lives. We're talking about those that may be disabled and black. We talking about everybody. This is not one thing. This is about everyone. So as we do this chant, I need y'all to get into this. I need y'all to feel this. Us putting power to the universe. That's us putting the truth into what we want to see happen in this world, all right? So when we say this, you got to say it like you mean it, all right? Y'all believe we gonna?
about 15 minutes away from in Minnesota. I've been waiting.
Okay, guys, we're going to switch to a different stream here real quick. It seems to not have the audio cut problems. Give me 1 second. It is, but your audio's. It is from our very own Jesse. Sorry, Janine. I didn't even have your audio on. You're on now, though.
Oh, I was just saying, is that beautiful meme from our very own Jesse?
It is. It is. Thank you for vamping. I'm just pulling up the new live stream here. We have a different feed from the Uptake guys, and I'm just I see what they're doing here. They have a different player. I'm just trying to figure out how their player works, and it's an embedded live stream. Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Pardon me, folks. Here we go.
All across the board for living conditions and quality of life for black people of all of the diaspora. You understand? Does that sound familiar? So while we're here today, I want you all to remember one thing. We have nothing to be ashamed of when we're talking about justice for ourselves, because no one in this country can question the dedication, the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears that we put into this country, building this country without one single iota of justice. And now that we sit here in 2016, on the backs of hard-working organizers all across the state, hard-working Northsiders, St. Paulers all across the state, hard-working students all across the state, hard-working community members all across the state. And now that we have the opportunity, or better yet, now that they have the opportunity to come and see what you think, what's important to you, and what you need, hold their feet to the fire. Because at the end of the day, it does not end with the election of one person. We learned that from Barack Obama. We have Congress people, senators, all these other positions that need to adhere and acknowledge the fact that we need to follow the same protocol that had America in 2014 commission France to pay reparations for the American Holocaust survivors, because there was a great wrong done in World War II, and so there was a protocol to make sure that they got justice. Now here we are. As Mike beautifully said, 300, and some may even say 400 years later, and we're still asking for the consideration of justice. This is a travesty. I want you to look around the room at the people next to you. If you're African American, understand that you should have no shame. If you happen to be something other than African American and you say that Black Lives Matter, then you should be the loudest champion for reparations for black people in the room. There should be no safe place where you can sit and talk about black people and not talk about correcting the historical injustices that create the living conditions that we have to suffer through. Jamar Clark is a direct result of not actually taking care of the reparations due to these people, due to us, due to our community, and making sure that we actually close these disparities so the quality of life is an actual American quality of life for everybody that's here putting in work. Now, I heard a lot of people talking, and I'm going to say I get a little nervous. Brother Anthony was out in Iowa, and the brother said, hey, can we talk about putting a few $1 billion into an infrastructure program for African Americans specifically across the country? You know, people like to say that all rising tide lifts all boats. It does, not if your boat has holes in it, though. You understand? It's not that we didn't want to actually sit here and do our part. Read your history. Look at Tulsa, Oklahoma. We did everything right, asked no one for nothing. And we were the first city bombed by our own American Air Force. And we still joined that same Air Force later to defend this country. So as we sit here and we watch these candidates, y'all keep in mind, you're not asking for anything. You're not begging for anything. There's nothing free that you're asking for. There's a debt. And we're here to collect on that debt. And for those of you that are sitting in here with criminal history, you know how they treat you when it comes to your criminal history. So let's deal with America accordingly with their criminal history. Make sense? So when they talk about that $1 trillion investment in overhaul and infrastructure, make sure we ask specifically, how is that going to help the African American community? Because we have to stabilize. We're dealing with the same struggle here in Minnesota. We fought for the $15 wage, but at the same time, we're still fighting to make sure that we close the unemployment gap between African Americans and our Latino brothers and the rest of the white diaspora. See, we can't just get the wage. If I can't get the job, what's the point? Right? So as we sit here today, I want you all to keep that in mind. Put your thinking caps on. Remember that these people work for you, not the other way around. They have to convince you that your vote is being placed in the right place. So I'm going to let you all get on for today, Mike. Thank you. Thank y'all for your time.
We are not playing around right now. Give it up for Nick. I say Black Lives, you say Matters. Black Lives, Black Lives, Black Lives. Give it up for my partner in crime, Watala Malakine.
Hey y'all, sorry I'm kind of short, you probably can't see me. Hopefully they turn the music off real quick. My name's Wintana, I've been at NOC for 3 years. Who's familiar with NOC? So a little bit about us. Our main issues are criminal justice, racial justice, economic justice, and civic engagement. We specifically choose these issues because we know those are the issues that are going to change America, change the world. More specifically, the campaign we're working on right now is to restore voting rights to all people incarcerated and released. Can I get a shout out for that? Another campaign we're working on is to create quality public community schools. We believe that our schools should have wraparound services. Our kids should get everything they need out of their classroom. And another big issue is that we believe that everyone should have dignity in the workplace. Everyone should make 15 or more. Can I get a shout out for that? We believe that everyone should have a fair schedule. We believe everyone should have earned skin safe time. No one should have to choose between a 950 job and a sick child. That's right. The biggest thing that we've added in this year is civic engagement, expanding into a new arena for us. We plan on getting very heavily involved in politics. We plan on electing a new legislature. We don't just want the DFL. We want people of color in office that have our values. We are taking it a step beyond. And beyond that, we are also coming after the Minneapolis City Council. We are tired of seeing failure. So seats are not safe. We are flipping it. And a step beyond that, I haven't decided if I'm voting for Bernie or well, I'm not voting for Hillary. I know that. But use this as an opportunity to listen, because the revolution is now with or without Bernie. We are creating it in this moment. So let's use this moment as a vessel for our revolution. Thank you. And if you want to get involved in our campaigns, I'm going to let you know right now. You can text this number, 651-318-3281. Text the word NOC, N-O-C, to get involved.
And so we got to be quick here. Senator's waiting. But while your phone's out, if you're interested in asking a question to the senator about the future of Black America, we're using hashtag BlackForumMN. BlackForumMN. Ask a question, and we'll get it to the moderator to make sure that it's asked. Who are you? Who wants to fight to make Minnesota better? I said, who are, okay. I'm be quick here. Who are you? Who wants to fight to change the world? Who are you? Who wants to fight to change the world? I said, who are you, folks? Up next, one of my colleagues, Malia.
All right, y'all. Who wants to sing Power with me? Who wants to sing Power with me? Let me hear you. Who knows about that movement music? You're going to learn today. Literally, there's lyrics being passed out. So I want you guys to do some snaps for me. This is the chorus. You got power. Hey, you got power. Hey, you got power. Hey, you got power. Hey, you got it? All right. Hold your head up, don't you cower. Let the sun love you, your favorite flower. That's why they try to choke you off, ooh, they sour. Don't want you to know that you got power, you got power. Hey, you got power. Hey, you got power. Hey. You illuminate, you hover, you tower. They're intimidated, you rain like a shower. But it's your time to shine, baby, your hour. Too much at stake to play small, flex your power. You got power. Hey, you got power. Hey. Tell your neighbor, you got power. Hey, you got power. Hey, they'll try to skin you, they'll try to scour, whitewash you, make you give gold for the plaster. But it's in your flesh and your bones can be transferred. No one can take away your power. You got power. Hey, you got hold your head up, don't you cower. Let the sun love you, your favorite flower. That's why they try to choke you off, ooh, they sour. Don't want you to know that you got power, you got power.
Give it up for Malia! On your feet! On your feet! Give it up for Malia! Powerful people! Powerful people! Who are you? Who wants to fight to make Minnesota better? Who are you? Who wants to fight to make America better? Who are you? Who wants to fight to change the world? I'm Mike Griffin. The senator's going to be up in 5 minutes. Don't move.
I spent 27 years in this factory. Now the boss man says, hey, you're not what we need. The penguins in the suits, they know nothing but greed. It's a solitary life when you've mouths to feed. But who cares about us? Now I'm back on the streets with my hands held shut. I'm a working man without any work. Well, is this the way it's meant to be? Because I signed on for the American dream. Now I write my name to the welfare scheme. The money in the bank, well, it's history. So take me down to where the worlds collide and leave me here till I'm satisfied. So let the revolution begin.
Bernie will be up in about 5 minutes. So I want to say thank you to all more than 320 of you joining right now, watching. Thank you for being with us. We have the hashtag BlackForumMN. We'll be tracking that in Twitter. And of course your comments on YouTube chat. And it looks like we have at least 1,000 people viewing total between what's going on the uptake and our stream. Thank you for being here.
All
correction. My apologies. More than 390. That's badass. You're welcome on the stream, guys. This is the Uptake. We really have to thank them. We dropped the link in the chat. We generally grab streams from other people, although we do have a unit out there for this. This is from the Uptake. It's on live stream. And thank you for being here.
I spent 27 years in this factory. Now the boss man says, hey, you're not what we need. The penguins in the suits, they know nothing but greed. It's a solitary life when you've mouths to feed. But who cares about us? Now I'm back on the streets with my hands held shut. I'm a working man without any work. Well, is this the way it's meant to be? Because I signed on for the American dream. Now I write my name to the welfare scheme. The money in the bank, well, it's history. So take me down to where the worlds collide and leave me here till I'm satisfied. So let the revolution begin. Now I track these bones across the barren land. For once a city, now an outstretched hand. We can't lose our sense of dignity while the fat-faced cats wrap up the creep. Another disappearing neck falls up to sleep while the shirt's on our backseat refugee. So take me down to where the worlds collide and leave me here till I'm satisfied. There'll come a day when all of us will show we won't be afraid. Although we're crashing, we won't burn. Let the revolution begin. it's your birthday. Let's act like it is and just go crazy. Do what we want with no reason why. Life ain't long enough, so let's celebrate and get drunk on good love. And remember what it's like to just dance all night. We'll dance all night. That's the way that we're doing it, doing it. We go big or we go back home. People looking at us like we're losing it, losing it. But baby, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Gonna be up all night, chasing the sunrise. Like we're wild and young, baby, kids on the run. Gonna party like we just turned 21. Let's treat this town like we own it. And baby, if you wanna get out, you can drive this car like you stole it. Like we're runaways, like we're superstars, like we're fireworks burning in the dark. That's the way that we're doing it, doing it. We go big or we go back home. People looking at us like we're losing it, losing it. Baby, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Gonna be up all night, chasing the sunrise. Like we're wild and young, baby, kids on the run. Gonna party like we just turned 21. Ain't nobody wants to act their age. Ain't no sense in us living this way. You and I, girl, we gotta get away and make tonight the best night of our lives. Yeah. Oh, that's the way that we're doing it, doing it. We go big or we go back home. People looking at us like we're losing it, losing it. But baby, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Gonna be up all night, chasing the sunrise. Like we're wild and young, baby, kids on the run. Gonna party like we just turned 21. Oh, we're just having fun, yeah. Well, it's your birthday. Let's act like it is and just go crazy. Do what we want with no reason why. Life ain't long enough, so let's celebrate and get drunk on good love. And remember what it's like to just dance all night. We'll dance all night. That's the way that we're doing it, doing it. We go big or we go back home. People looking at us like we're losing it, losing it. But baby, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Gonna be up all night, chasing the sunrise. Like we're wild and young, baby, kids on the run. Gonna party like we just turned 21. Let's treat this town like we own it. And baby, if you wanna get out, you can drive this car like you stole it. Like we're runaways, like we're superstars, like we're fireworks burning in the dark. That's the way that we're doing it, doing it. We go big or we go back home. People looking at us like we're losing it, losing it. Baby, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Gonna be up all night, chasing the sunrise.
thank you for being with us. Bernie will be here. Just waiting for him to show up, and we know he's late, and he does have another event to get to. I kind of agree with somebody who posted in Twitter earlier that said, I hope he kind of blows off the fancy dinner and just sticks with this one. But we do expect Bernie soon. We're just waiting on audio to kick back in, folks. Looks like Keith Ellison is going to be the first speaker, from what I'm seeing. Getting ready to get up there on stage. They've killed the audio. And they were playing We Take Care of Our Own. And according to Scott Galindez, they have a set playlist. And they know when they start playing that tune, we're getting close to Bernie. So should be seeing Keith Ellison up soon. And then hopefully Bernie Sanders. We know this is running late. Thank you for joining us here on Bernie 2016 TV. And we appreciate the uptake, providing us a stream via live stream that is not hampered with YouTube copyright crap. So should be starting soon. So I'd show you the feed now, guys, but basically we have somebody setting up a camera right in the middle of the uptake's stream. Like, right smack dab in the middle. I don't know who this person is, and I hope the uptake knows, because it's going to be a bummer for their stream. This person's camera is going to sit right there in the middle. Just waiting for this to start, folks. Looks like I see the Secret Service there by the black curtain. It looks like we're just about ready to go, folks. Unfortunately, I'm going to look to find another stream, apparently, because we now have a camera right in front of our view, or the uptake's view. So, soon I hope, folks.
Sorry, there's some media. Right, so using live stream right now as we are, it costs money through live stream. It costs money to get the stream up. It costs money to get the essential tethering spot. And look at this is what we're talking.
And it looks like we have camera out of the way. We have two different streams coming up now. The original stream, and that's from the Unicorn Riot live stream, and we also have the uptake stream, so we'll go back and forth between the two. Looks like they're both getting ready to go here, so hopefully soon.
Check, check, check. All right, how y'all doing? All right. My name is Anthony Newby, and I'm the director of NOC, Neighborhoods Organizing for Change. Senator Sanders is just arrived in the building. He and Keith Ellison came in at the same time, so they're both backstage, just got in, and we apologize for the delay, but we're going to get started. I want to welcome you all, before we get to Bernie, to Henry High School in North Minneapolis. It is not often that presidential candidates come to a high school in North Minneapolis. We want to thank Henry for opening their doors, and we want to thank Senator Sanders for coming to North Minneapolis to prioritize the issues of the folks in this room and of the black community in particular. The framing of the event, and I want to hurry up because I know we're on limited time. The framing of the event today is to talk about not just an investment strategy, a bold vision for America, or idealist socialist policies, which are all important. It is to talk about deliberate investment in communities that have been historically overlooked, starting with, and for the purposes of this conversation today, the black community, and the black community in Minnesota, the black community in America. The folks on the panel are deliberately and intentionally black American and have some slave descendant connection, because that is often overlooked when we start talking about people of color or the black experience. It is often a piece of the story and the narrative that is overlooked. So today, we're very deliberately starting with this group of folks, and I'm going to introduce them. To my left here is Rod Adams. Rod is a Chicago transplant, so moved from one under-resourced community in south side of Chicago to Minnesota, has worked as an under-resourced worker, low-wage worker, and is now an organizer with NOC, working with fast food workers, low-wage workers, and understands the issues of economic exploitation very well. Give it up for Rod. To his left is Ngeri. And Gary's a dual degree law and policy student at St. Thomas University. Don't let him fool you and tell you there's not students of color and black students that are doing big things out here. She's about to graduate with a law degree. Give it up for Gary. To her left, Ann Haynes. Ann identifies as black and Native American. Anybody here think Native American issues are often overlooked as well? Let's not forget we are on land that originally was owned by, occupied by Native Americans. So when we talk about reparations, it's important that we start with that story as well. And moving on down, Devon Nolan is a proud Henry patriot. Went to Henry High, grew up in North Minneapolis. Is also a brilliant activist, urban gardener, brilliant, and it's great to have you on the panel. To her left, Felicia, another brilliant mother, artist, entrepreneur, designer, Northside resident, also a Henry patriot. So I'm going to stop there. Keith Ellison is going to come out. He's going to say a few words. Keith took a risk by talking about issues of Wall Street and Wall Street accountability, issues of equity, pay equity. Come on, Keith. Now, don't wait. Come on, man. A long time ago, before it was cool, give it up for Keith Ellison.
I got to pull these down after Anthony gets up there. How y'all doing out there? Well, it's good to see everybody. It's good to be in my own home and in my neighborhood. I jumped off an airplane and drove here fast as I could because I wanted to see you and I wanted to see my dear friend Bernie Sanders. Now, let me tell y'all something. This is something I really want to just talk to you about. People have asked me, why you support Bernie Sanders? And I said, well, you know, when I was out there with workers, black workers, Latino workers, Native American workers, immigrant workers, and they were saying we need 15 and a union. I looked to my left and I looked to my right and I saw one senator. That senator was Bernie Sanders. Now I'm telling you, we were talking, when they started talking about 15 in the union, people say, what are you talking about? We're talking $9, maybe 10. Bernie's like, no, 15 in the union. When I look for somebody to drop a bill in for 15, Bernie. Now listen, this is not necessarily a cheer point. I need you to focus right here. What I'm saying is, when we were saying that the dramatic over-incarceration of all Americans, especially black and brown Americans, and the United States government should not be contracting with the private prison industry, Bernie Sanders called me and said, I'm going to drop a bill in. Will you join me? I said, absolutely, we will. You understand what I'm saying to you right now? When somebody is doing the work, putting themselves on the line to fight excessive incarceration and profiteering in incarceration, to raise the wage. Oh, and did I mention expansion of Social Security? A few years ago, they wanted to have something that would literally cut Social Security. And you know, Social Security is not just for seniors. It's for people on survivor benefits, and it is for people with disabilities. Bernie Sanders talked about expanding Social Security. So, and I also just want to say that you look around and you say, who's here gonna help? And Bernie is in the front of the line. So look, you now have an opportunity to vote for somebody to be the president of the United States who believes in true racial justice and equity. You have somebody who will stand to raise the wage of the American people. To somebody who's not just talking about debt-free college, although he's talking about that, we're talking about free college. Now, people who say, oh, this is a pipe dream, why is it not a pipe dream for Denmark or Germany, right? Why can they do it and we cannot do it? Look, this is not a no you can't campaign. This is not a diminish your dreams kind of campaign. This is a believe in what the possibilities that we can do together kind of campaign. And anybody who starts telling you, oh, that's unrealistic, we can't do that. Let me tell you, 8 years ago, when you voted for Barack Obama, did you do it because of what he told you was not possible? Or did you vote for him because he said, yes, we can, and projected a bold vision? That's what's happening right now. This is the right campaign if you believe this country can be better than it was. And it's not saying that Obama's not a great president. I support President Obama, but I'm telling you this, we can do better, right? And who wants to do better? Anybody want to fight student debt around here? Anybody want to put real investment? Let me tell you, Bernie is the only one I'm hearing talking about really dealing with this real unemployment rate, not just the unemployment rate they say they got, but the one where people are underemployed and not working and people just left the workforce because there's no real opportunity. He's talking about getting at that. So you know what, guys? This is a moment in history where we can grab this thing and run. And I want to ask you to do it with me. Bernie Sanders, everybody.
Let me begin by thanking Congressman Keith Ellison. And I'm thanking him not just for his support and active participation on my campaign. I'm thanking him for being as strong a supporter in the United States Congress as any member of that Congress for working people, for civil rights, and for social justice. Keith, thank you so much. Well, thank you all very much for inviting me to be with you. And let me be brief and get to the point. And the point is we got some serious problems facing our country, and together we had better get around the business of trying to resolve them. And let me begin by telling you what no other presidential candidate will tell you. No president, not Bernie Sanders or anyone else,
is going to be able to solve the crises facing this country alone. All right, and you know why? Here's the reason why. The reason why is that Wall Street, corporate America, the corporate media, the large campaign donors have so much power in this country over our economy and over our political life that the only way we make change is through a political revolution when millions of people come together. And people come together to demand something that really is not that radical. It is to have a government that represents all of us and not just a handful of wealthy campaign contributors. Now, people have said, Bernie, your ideas are too radical, too expensive. Well, let me put it within this context. In the last 30 years, there has been a massive redistribution of wealth in America. Problem is, it's gone in the wrong direction. It's gone from the pockets of working people to the top 0.1%. Anybody here think it's appropriate that the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%? Anyone think it's appropriate that when families are working such long hours, 58% of all new income is going to the top 1%? So one of the tenets of our campaign is to say to Wall Street, say to corporate America, and say to the wealthiest people in this country, you know what? You are going to start paying your fair share of taxes. What's our agenda? When real unemployment in this country is close to 10%, African American real unemployment much higher than that, youth unemployment for African American kids who graduated high school between 17 and 20 years of age, you know what it is? 51%. That ain't right at all. So I'll tell you what we're going to do with regard to that. We're going to invest in jobs and education, not jails and incarceration. And when we have people all across this country working for wages of $7.25, $8, $9 an hour, you know what? You could do the arithmetic as good as I can. You can't make it on $8 an hour. We are going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And as Keith just mentioned to you, he and I were out on the streets fighting alongside of workers who need that 15 plus a union. We are going to make that happen. And here's an issue of huge consequence, and that is millions of families in this country are struggling to send their kids to college, and others are graduating college deeply in debt. All right? Keith mentioned Germany, they have free college. Scandinavia, they have free college. Well, you know what I think? I think when we talk about public education in America today, it shouldn't just be first grade through 12th grade. I'm talking about making public colleges and universities tuition free. What I want, I grew up in a family that never had a lot of money. My parents didn't go to college. What I want to see is that every kid in America who does his or her schoolwork well, takes school seriously, that kid deserves the opportunity to get a higher education regardless of the income of that family. I have all over this country been talking to young people deeply, deeply in debt
from student loans. Anybody here in debt with student loans? Whoa. All right, what you got? What kind of debt we talking about? How much? 60,000. All right, now I want you to think about this for a moment. Our job, living in a competitive global economy, is to encourage people to get all of the education that they need, right? That makes sense. It's good for the people, it's good for our country. Why are we punishing people, forcing them to pay off debt for decades for the crime of getting an education? Give me a break. So what we're going to do is allow people with student debt to refinance at the lowest possible interest rates, cutting student debt very, very significantly. Here's another issue that I think many of you are familiar with. There is one country in the industrialized world, just one, that does not guarantee health care to all people as a right. Now, I've been criticized for saying this, too ambitious, too bold. So let me say it to you. In my view, health care is a right of all people, not a privilege. Affordable Care Act has made some good progress. I voted for it to help write it. But we can do better, and that's why I support a Medicare for All single-payer program. Guarantee health care to all people, save middle-class families $5,000 a year. Now, when we talk about the needs of the American people, what we have got to understand is we will not be successful unless we come together as one people. All right, here's the truth. Truth is that Wall Street has unlimited sums of money, and I mean unlimited. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. Corporate America, huge amounts of money. Now, there are folks out there like Donald Trump and others who want to divide us up. I mean, these are the guys who try to humiliate the President of the United States by saying he was not born in America. You remember that, the birther movement? This is the kind of guy who is saying that Latinos, Mexicans coming into this country are rapists and criminals and drug dealers. This is the kind of guy who says we should keep Muslims of this country. All of this stuff has gone on for a long time. It's not just Trump. The way they succeed is they divide us up, black against white, gay against straight, people born in this country against people who were not born in this country, men against women. So our job is to come together, black and white, Latino, Native American, Asian Americans, not let them divide us up. Now let me tell you, when I talk about issues of concern in this country, I am talking about doing everything humanly possible to end institutional racism and a broken criminal justice system. Now, what do I mean about a broken criminal justice system? This is what I mean. I mean that some kid in Minnesota gets picked up today for possessing marijuana. That kid will get a police record. Somebody on Wall Street whose company, whose financial institution has just paid $5 billion in settlement with the United States government for defrauding the American people and doing illegal activity that's almost destroyed the entire economy. You know what that person gets? A large compensation package. That is not a criminal justice system which is based on justice. So together we are going to create that kind of system. What does that mean? Well, it means a whole lot, and for more detailed information, you can go to my website, but let me just
rattle off a few things. Number one, it means that we will not continue to tolerate unarmed people, often African Americans, being shot by police officers. Now, I was a mayor of a city for 8 years, worked hard with our police department. Here's the truth. Vast majority of police officers are hardworking, honest people. But, and they have a very difficult job to do. It ain't an easy job. But, when a police officer breaks the law, like any other public official, that officer must be held accountable. Number two, we have got to end the militarization of local police departments. Police departments should not look like occupying armies. They should be part of the community, not intimidating the community. Thirdly, we have got to make police departments look like the diversity of the communities they are serving. Fourthly, we have got to end over-policing in African American communities. Give you one example. Turns out that the black community and the white community do marijuana at about the same levels. Turns out that blacks are 4 times more likely to be arrested for possession of marijuana than whites. That doesn't make sense. And among other reasons, that's why I have introduced legislation that takes marijuana out of the Federal Controlled Substance Act. Too many lives have been lost. Too many people have suffered as a result of the so-called war on drugs. Time to rethink that. Today in America, we are seeing, and this is a tragedy so unspeakable, it's hard almost to discuss it. But today, a black male born today stands a 1 in 4 chance of ending up in jail. That is absolutely and totally unacceptable. And our job as a nation is to start investing in communities of need, communities of color, so that young people have the education, have the job training, have the health care that they need so they can get, with an education, get their lives together. So we've got a lot of work in front of us, and no one person can do it alone. What we need are millions of people standing together, not letting our opponents divide us up for all kinds of dumb reasons, standing together to say that in America, yeah, we are going to have a government that works for all of us, not just the few. That's why I'm running for president, and I thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words.
So we are, first of all, thanks again for Senator Sanders for coming to the heart of North Minneapolis in an unprecedented event to talk about black-specific issues. We're going to have an informal conversation. Check. We're going to have an informal conversation. We're not in a round table style sitting arrangement, but we're going to have an informal roundtable discussion. And Senator Sanders, you said a lot of very powerful things, aspirational things. You talked about an economy that works for all of us. we're going to challenge you a little bit and say it's also true that the economy does not work for all of us. There are certain populations, and we're going to start with the black community today. We are in a neighborhood where unemployment is well over 20%. Depending on the demographic, young black men, it's as high as 50%. Sure. So the economy isn't working for all of us. We're going to start with some questions and have you respond to how you would invest and think about this aspirational goal of a better economy, but with specific investment strategies. And we're going to start with Felicia, who is an entrepreneur, a small business owner. You heard a lot from the senator about an economy that works for everybody. I want to challenge you to speak about your own experience and ask your own question to that regard.
Can everybody hear me?
Try this one.
Can everyone hear me now? Can everyone hear me now?
There we go.
Great. This does not count towards my time. I'm trying to figure this out. Senator, my name is Felicia Perry. As he said, I'm a local small business owner, entrepreneur, artist, who I also consider entrepreneurs since we are our brand, we are our business. As a small business owner, I've participated in some financially empowering movements such as the Northside Holiday Boutique, which was very successful this past winter. Things like this that support black business, and diligently, I've been working toward making my work, my business, sustain my family. But for so many small business owners, federal programs are not culturally grounded, and they seem out of touch with people like me, melanated people. We have many barriers and obstacles for permits, for licensing. What I would like to know from you is how will you create and help create policies that create pathways for us rather than barriers?
Thank you, Felicia. All right, if we are, and Anthony, when I talked about an economy that works for all, I am more than aware that this current economy does not work for all. Real unemployment nationally is 10%. For the African American community, it is way higher than that. And for young African Americans, it is literally off the charts, as I mentioned. So, Felicia, what I think we have got to do, if we want to tackle the problem of youth unemployment, which I see as a major crisis, then I think we support black businesses, and I think we support small black businesses. You are more likely to be hiring kids in the neighborhood, is that correct? Okay, all right. Right, all right. Well, that's what we want to do. So I think what we want to do is to understand that instead of doing what we're currently doing, is giving huge tax breaks to multinational corporations, some of them making billions of dollars a year, pay nothing in taxes. How about providing tax breaks and subsidies to small businesses in high unemployment areas who are going to create local jobs? How's that? All right, that's the focus that we need. And I certainly, look, I want to just say two things on this issue. Number one, when we talk about black youth unemployment, and this is for high school graduates, not kids who dropped out of high school. African American youth unemployment is 51%. Now, this is a human tragedy for kids who want to stand up on their own 2 feet and start becoming adults. But you know what else it is? When you have that kind of unemployment, kids are going to find something else to do. They may get in trouble, and they're going to end up in jail. We spend $80 billion a year locking up Americans. More people in jail in America than any other country on earth. You know what? Instead of spending $80 billion locking up people, we can use some of those people to help small businesses create jobs.
This is great. So to that point, and locking up folks, we have a law student on the panel, knows a lot about the legal system and works with young folks. And Gary, can you ask a question related to your field, to the legal field? You're seeing folks coming in and out in a revolving door of the criminal justice system. Can you speak directly to the black experience and how it relates to the criminal justice system?
I can do that. Can you hear me? Okay. So thank you for coming to speak to us, Senator Sanders. We really appreciate it. And it's common knowledge that today more black men are in prison than were enslaved in 1850, which is a startling fact. It's something that we all know. We're still suffering from the effects of that. As a black law student, I'm forced to sit in classrooms and hear, ideologies that I don't see in practice today. It's hard to sit in a class and hear that the Constitution applies to everyone. I'm looking into the faces of people that don't have those constitutional rights acknowledged. So I want to ask about the criminal justice system as being a system of rehabilitation and not meeting that definition, what you will do to restore that. And in terms of aspiring to be president, what specific measures will you take to address the individual impact of incarceration and to ensure that those who are released have a real second chance and do not end up within the revolving door recidivism?
Gary, is your name?
In Gary.
Thank you. Excellent question. All right, look, it seems to me, when, as I mentioned a moment ago, we have more people in jail than China. Got it? China is 4 times our size. It is a communist authoritarian country. We have more people in jail than China. All right, so the first thing we have got to do is to do our best to keep people from getting into jail. Right? That's the first thing. And as I said before, I think education is important. We've got to put money into education, especially into those communities who need it the most. We should be doing everything we can to see the kids are not dropping out of school. We should be doing everything we can to see that those kids get jobs when they leave school. All right, that's number one. Number two, in terms of the rate of recidivism, you're absolutely right. I did a panel on this in Iowa a couple of months ago. And this is what we had. We had 2 guys, great guys, really wonderful human beings, both served time in jail. One guy described his situation. He said, I was told the day before I was going to be released. I was informed of that the day before. Then they gave me a check for $75, and they said, good luck. He ended up back in jail. So one should not be shocked to believe that if people don't have the job skills and the education that they need when they leave jail, where are they going to go? They're going to go back to the same environment that got them into jail in the first place, right? So our job is to invest to make sure that when people leave incarceration, they have the potential to build a new life outside of jail. We are not doing that right now. And where this is an interesting issue, where even conservatives are becoming on board. You know why? They see us spending huge amounts of money. Who gains? It costs a lot less money to send somebody to a university here in Minnesota than it is to send them to jail. All right? So we are doing a terrible job. Absolutely. But the bottom line is, we have got to give people the job skills and the education and the resources that they need when they leave jail so they don't come back into jail. We're not doing that now. No way.
So I want to stick with this theme. Criminal justice is such a big bucket. There's no way one singular question can get to that. And there were some folks that couldn't make it on the panel. There were some structural barriers that even prevented folks from being on the panel. We know there are many, many barriers and obstacles. One of those folks is Jason Soul, who, while we're on the issue of criminal justice and criminal justice reform, I want to pass the mic, and if it's okay with somebody here, let's not let this wall be a barrier for folks who weren't allowed to get on the panel. Can somebody hand the mic to Jason Soul, who served real time, got out, got a PhD. And let's continue on this framing. That wall is not a barrier. Can you ask a question related to your personal experience?
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Thank all of you. I want to know, because intrinsically, I can feel the burn. I can feel it. But I can't manifest it in any physical way. I can't cast a ballot. What are you willing to do for people like me who are disenfranchised?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Who are silenced?
Somebody help me here, because I don't remember the exact number. But there's, and Jason, maybe you know it, there is an unbelievable percentage of African-American males who today cannot vote because of felonies. Do you know the number? Anyone know it?
I know it's 47,000 in Minnesota.
47,000 just in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
In states like Florida, Texas, it is off the charts. Okay? So what is the answer? Look, what criminal justice is supposed to be about is you committed a crime, you were found guilty, you pay the price. I'm not aware that paying the price includes taking away your rights to participate in a democratic society. I'm not aware of that. All right? You paid your price, right? All right? You're a citizen of the United States, correct? Yeah, you have the right to vote. As it happens in my state of Vermont, felons can vote. I believe that should be the case all over America. It's an outrage. And let me tell you something. It's not only bad, it's not only a stupid and unfair idea. People pay the price. It's quite enough to spend time in jail, right? You don't have to lose your right to participate in the democracy. But don't be naive and think there's not another purpose here as well. If you have large numbers of African American men and women not being able to vote, somebody benefits from that. That is, you know, that takes us, this is just part of the whole business of voter suppression. This is just another part of voter suppression. All right, I will do my view. My view is people serve the time. That's it. They have the right to vote, period.
If I could just follow up, Senator Sanders, thank you. You talk about people coming out and having the skills tangible in communities to kind of go back and be reacclimated. What do you think about people having their job skills that they get in jail being transferable once they get out?
Well, I think that's a very sensible idea. By the way, that's not only related to people in jail, it's very often related to people in the military, did you know? Same thing. Yeah, so the answer is absolutely yes. We want people to gain job skills, and they should be able to use those job skills on a resume, is what you're saying, when they get out of jail. Absolutely.
Sorry, and the education, because they're getting, yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story.
Sorry.
My wife, Jane, is here in the back. You forgive me for telling you this story. We were in, I think, Sweden a number of years ago, and here's the difference in philosophy. What they do with people in jail, their goal is to make sure those people, when they're released, never get back in jail again, okay? Our system too often is based on vengeance. You made a mistake, we are gonna punish you, and we're gonna ruin your life, okay? And that's absurd. It is absurd for so many ways. So the answer is obviously rehabilitation. Give people the education, the job skills they need, and hopefully when they leave jail, they'll never come back again.
All right, I want to make sure that we get this question out, because I think it's particularly important in Minnesota, but there are issues of native sovereignty. So if we're talking about, again, the issue of reparations, repaying a grievance that has taken place, and finding creative and direct solutions to fixing historical grievances. And can you say a little bit about your experience, both as a Black and Native person? And let's talk directly about Native-related issues for a moment.
Thank you for coming. We have another generation of Native children whose connections to their families and their tribes is being compromised. For example, in Minnesota, Native American children are 17 times more likely to be placed in foster care than white children. We need more than just jobs for our communities. Jobs alone cannot heal our communities. How will you invest in Natives, creating solutions for ourselves to heal from addiction, homelessness, sex trafficking, individual, generational, and historical trauma in our community?
Anybody who studies the history of our country knows that it has been a very rocky history. It has included the abomination of slavery. It has included horrendous attacks on the Native American community. All right, there's no ifs, buts, and maybes about that. And throughout this country, you are seeing rates of unemployment, alcoholism, drug addiction within the Native American community off of just outrageously high. I think what has to happen, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have a magical solution, I don't, but here's what has to happen. Simply throwing federal money and federal bureaucrats at the problem probably is not going to work. What is going to work is a relationship between the federal government and the Native American communities by which the federal government provides resources, but the Native communities, Native American communities themselves work out the solutions that are most relevant to their particular needs. I was in Iowa, and there was a very beautiful community. People, fantastic school, cultural center. Different people approach things in different ways. But I would say that the best approach, in my experience in government, is not from a top-down process, but from a bottom-on-up process.
So the question, I think, is not irrelevant. The question is about specific redress. And also included, there was a specific redress, a very deliberate and specific redress. So I think part of the conversation needs to be, with all of these questions, what are the specific and deliberate solutions that are going to get to the trauma of the African American community? We're going to pivot on that point and talk about, Devon, you've done a lot of work on the environment, and we know, for example, we're not far from a Herc incinerator. People know what the Herc incinerator is? It's a garbage burner near downtown Minneapolis, and depending on the day, it is blowing a plume of toxic smoke over communities of color, including the building that we're sitting in right now. You've done a lot of work on environmental issues. With that framing and with that point of specific redress, specific reparations for policies, for investments that have been targeted at the African American community. Do you have a question that gets to the heart of that?
Sure. So from Flint to North Minneapolis, Black, brown, and Native communities have been exposed to lead poisoning, toxic incinerators, food deserts, and many other things that cause social ills because of failures and greed of the local, federal, and state government. Frontline communities like Flint are in every state in the union. How will you ensure communities are safe from these man-made health hazards like lead poisoning, air pollution, and food swamps before they become a national headline?
Good. Thank you. Your point is absolutely right. Just give you an example. I was a couple of months ago in a community in the great city of Baltimore, Maryland. I was in a neighborhood which had no grocery stores. No grocery stores. So if you wanted to pick up some fresh produce, meat, vegetables, you couldn't do it. There were these little mom and pop stores that sold alcohol and sold potato chips. That's what it was. It was a community, if you can believe it, that had no banks. It had payday lenders that charged people hundreds of interest rates of hundreds of percent. Here as well. All right, it's beyond belief. All right, so what do we need to do? Well, let me just deal with a few. In terms of this payday lender stuff, which is absolutely obscene. You know, every religion in the world, every religion, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, whatever the religion is, understands that usury is a sin. Do you know that? Usury is a sin. So I want to put these payday lenders out of business. And I'll tell you how you do it. Elizabeth Warren and I have worked on an idea that says that in communities throughout America, you got postal service, you got post offices. Post offices can be involved in basic banking. You can cash a check without having to pay outrageous interest rates. You can make a small deposit. All right, but Devin, getting to your more important point, what we know is there are communities throughout this country, predominantly or most often African American or Latino, but not always, sometimes they're white as well, who have been poor for decades, who have never gotten the resources that they need. And I believe that we should target, in terms of federal money, those communities that are the poorest, that have been poorest the longest, and make sure that they get the assistance that they need to get themselves up on their own 2 feet. Sort of like investing in the communities that need it the most. That's what we should be doing.
So I appreciate your response, but I'd like to ask the more direct question. How will you hold the corporations and untrustworthy government officials accountable for poisoning our communities?
I have asked for the resignation of Governor Snyder because his action has been so irresponsible that I think that really is what is called for. But your point is, it's not just Flint. It is communities all over this country, and it is primarily lower-income communities. You go to low-income communities, many of the children have asthma. Do you know that? Okay. Pardon me? Go ahead. No, take it.
My son has asthma. We live within a mile of that incinerator. And several times a year, we're in the doctor. He's on several steroids. He's a teenage boy who's probably underweight partially because of this. But he's very athletic, and it hurts my heart that one summer he was literally put on basically bed rest because his lungs weren't strong enough. And it's hard to get them strong when we've got garbage being burned in our backyard. So the question specifically, my black son, okay, I know you're scared to say black, I know you're scared to say reparations because it seems like every time...
Ma'am, I don't think that's a fair
I'll let you
statement.
finish as well. But it seems like every time we talk about black people and us getting something for the systematic oppression and exploitation of our people, we have to include every other person of color. So today, can we please talk about specifically black people and reparations?
We can talk about what I just indicated, in my view, is that when you have, and you and I may have a disagreement on this, because it's not just black, it is Latino. There are areas in America, in poor rural areas, where it's whites, okay? So I believe that in a country which has more income and wealth inequality than any other country, that yeah, the time is long overdue to start investing in poor countries. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth, especially within the African American community. So what I've said black 50 times, all right? That's the 51st time, all right? But this is a national issue, all right? So what we want and what I believe we should do, all right, is to invest most heavily in those communities most in need. And when you have 35% of black children living in poverty, when you have half of the kids in this country in public schools on free or reduced lunches, when youth unemployment in the African American community is 51%, those are exactly the kinds of communities that you invest in.
All right. All right. All right. So reparations, reparations, this room is clearly not afraid to talk about it. Specific redress. I want to get to as many questions as we can, and I know you're on limited time. Rod, you've worked with low-wage workers all throughout the state, throughout the metro area, a lot of young black workers. Do you have a question to ask the senator?
Yes, Senator Sanders. I do a bunch of work with low-wage workers, specifically in this community. Some of these workers are in this building, workers who have to wait 2 to 3 hours in a line at Target Field, not being paid, and not even sure if they were going to work that day. And they do this because maybe it's so hard for a black person to get a job in this economy. So my question is about reinvestment and eliminating institutional racism from corporations and the government. My question is, it is a historic fact that general improvement in economic conditions does not necessarily benefit black or Native communities. Socialist strategies have historically left large swaths of black and Native people behind. It was true of the New Deal, it was true of the GI Bill, and it was especially true of the Federal Housing Bill. Also, it was true of Obamacare, which was highly racialized. It was true of the response to the Great Recession, where, like, black folks never recovered. In Minnesota, as the white unemployment rate has dipped below 3%, the black unemployment rate has risen to higher than 14%. So I'm asking you, what specific, affirmative, and concrete steps will you take to ensure your $1 trillion federal investment strategy does not repeat the same mistakes of the past and entrench existing inequalities? Because not only do black lives matter, black jobs matter.
Can anyone deal with that light there? Can we lower that, please, or turn it? What Rod is talking about is that he's right. We have a $1 trillion investment program to rebuild the issues that you talked about, to transform our energy system away from garbage in low-income communities, all right, to making sure that we move, by the way, to clean, sustainable energies rather than fossil fuels, which also touches on the issue of climate change, which is a huge issue. But to answer your question, I think what the concern is, and I've heard it from many people in the African-American community, and that is, well, it's great, states are going to get the money, but how do we know that it filters down to the people who need it the most? That's the question, basically? Yeah. Okay, and we will do that. Your point is well taken. I think in some states, money will, in fact, go where it's supposed to go, to those people most in need. In other communities, it absolutely will not. You have my word that we will guarantee that when we make a major investment about creating 13 million jobs over the next 5 years, rebuilding our infrastructure, that money will go into those communities who need it the most to rebuild their own communities. Okay, maybe one more question, Anthony.
We're on limited time. I want to ask, while we have folks in the room, we have a lot of... All right, Clyde, if we do this, can we keep it sharp? Because we want to make sure... Say it again? If you can get it out now, we'll honor it. We are on native land after all, and we are going to honor, if you can honor the time that we have.
Testing, son. How about you? You gone the way we done indigenous cause, o Shishak, o Dane, Anishinaabe, o Gitchida, Three Fires Society, Gather to the Sacred Pipe Sundance, American Indian Movement. My spirit name is Nagan the way we done. I am the thunder before the storm. My colonial name is Clyde Belcourt. I was given that at birth because when I was born, 79 years ago, we were forbidden by this government in collusion with the churches to speak our native tongue again. We were forbidden to pray, to sing, to dance. They've taken everything that they could from us since then. They've taken everything but our dignity and our pride. I am the founder I am the founder and the national director of the American Indian Movement. It was founded right here in the city of Minneapolis when civil rights and human rights was strictly a black and white issue here in America. The Indian people were totally forgotten, like we didn't exist anymore. They thought John Wayne got all of us. George Armstrong Custer killed all of us. The United States government got rid of all of us, but we were still here. And I get angry. I get angry when I hear you and Hillary and Donald Trump and the rest of these right-wingers never saying a single word about what happened to the native people of this land. This is why the movement was formed. And this is my question. I went through a 9.5 month, the longest trial in the criminal history of the United States government to extinguish all native tribes in America in St. Paul, Minnesota, following the occupation of Wounded Knee. I was the man that led those people into Wounded Knee. Because we felt if we didn't stand up, if we didn't stand up what was right for Indian people, that we would surely perish as a people. And when that trial ended, we found out they would never, ever listen to our treaties because they didn't know nothing about them. White America's totally scholastically retarded when it comes to Indian people and our culture, tradition, our history.
Clyde, I love this. We
I'm
got to get
saying
to a
this.
question. Let's get to the question.
I got something to say, and I'm going to say it. If you have to carry me out of here, carry me out of here, because I'm going to speak, because I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of this bullshit. I've never heard, this is the first night I've heard anybody even mention the name Native people or Indians. And you know why? Because I'm here. They knew they had to say something.
A question. What's the question, Clyde?
Here's my question.
Great.
We went to the United Nations. We're the only Indian organization that's militant, radical, terrorist organization, as they try to call us. We're the first ones to give United Nations non-government organizational status. And we had to go.
We need the question,
Listen
Clyde.
to me. I'm getting into it.
Okay.
I'm getting to it. We had to go to the United Nations because our elders asked us. If we didn't get that type of international recognition, this government and this corporate government would wipe us out. And then we had to form a permanent forum.
Clyde, we got to get to the question.
Listen to me. You've got time.
I'm with you, but we got to
Bernie's
get to the
got
question.
time, and you guys got time to hear what I have to say.
This is a black forum,
but listen,
and we want to give time for this, but we got to have a balance.
It's not a black forum. It's people of color, and I'm one of those colors.
Okay.
It's not a black
forum. Let's
get
to the question. Let's get to the question.
That's all over with, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Just get to the
Here's
question.
what I'm saying. We had to travel the whole United States, Canada, Central and South America, all the way to the southern tip. We had to go into the Congo in South Africa and meet with black people, tribal people.
Clyde, question. You got a question, bro. Question. Just ask the question.
My question is this.
Here we go.
After 30 years, listen to me, Ben. After 30 years, I work within the United Nations. The United Nations finally signed the Declaration
we gotta move on.
of Rights for Indigenous People.
All right.
I want to know if you're going to honor those treaties. I want to know if you're, as president, if you become the president of the United States, are you going to honor the treaties made with Indian people?
There we go. Are you going to honor the treaties?
Are you going to honor our
think
treaties?
The Native American people have gotten a terrible deal from the federal government. I will do everything I can to redress that, absolutely. Thank you all very much.
You can't answer the question. You still haven't answered the question.
So we're gonna end on that note. We want to thank you all for coming. It's an open-ended question. If we got all of our questions answered. To be continued. The campaign trail continues. The conversation continues. Thank you all for coming.
so I picked on you. Oh, oh, hey, that's far out. So you heard him too. Oh, oh, switch on the TV. We may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up.
Very powerful, very powerful words from that Native American, and don't argue with anything he had to say. And honestly, and I'm just going to say this right now, my personal opinion, I really wish Bernie had answered that question differently. I know he had to get out of there. I know he was late to get to this next event that we have coming up. But I really wish he had taken the time to answer that guy's question. And I really wish, my personal opinion is, why doesn't he just say, yes, I will honor those treaties? I have that question for Bernie Sanders. Because I do not understand why the federal government made those treaties and then ignored them. I don't understand that. It's blatant. We had Pat Spray, who used to do a show here with us. And we learned a lot from Pat about Native Americans and their history. And I have that question for Bernie Sanders. I want to know that. Why? I think he should just make a very direct statement. When I become president, every single treaty that we said we were going to honor gets honored. And all the bullshit that we're doing, like Oak Flat, all of the bullshit, that's you, McCain, all of that stuff needs to be undone. I agree with that. All of the anger, I'm not a Native American, folks, but I learned an awful lot and have an awful lot of respect for Pat Spray for teaching me just how fucked Native Americans have been. And I think Bernie really should just take a stand there. He had to get out of there. He had to make that statement. He was kind of hijacked there. The guy just went off. But we were talking in chat about the fact that this is what the American people need. We need to vent. We haven't had this opportunity to say these things to government officials, and Bernie's listening. And that's part of the problem, is when you finally have somebody that actually listens, you want to vent. So Bernie, I think, understands that, but it also puts him in a very difficult position. And we have to understand that. I don't expect anybody at that forum to understand, because they're pissed, and rightfully so. Let them be pissed. I totally get that. Let me just check with live production. Multinational, are you going to use the same stream? No, I'm not going to use the same stream. So here's what we're doing, folks. We're going to cut to the other event right now. Obviously, Bernie's on his way there. It looks like Al Franken is up talking right now. So look for the next stream that we start, and we'll join you there. Thank you all. We had an awful lot of people join us tonight, more than 800 people concurrent. Thank you so much for being here with us. We'll be on the other stream. That's the fancy dinner, wherever it is, being broadcast by somebody else. I'll tell you all that in a minute, but you'll see the stream on Bernie2016.tv. That domain always takes us to our channel page. See you soon, everybody. We're not even going to end with a song. We're just going to go out with a huge and be done, so we can cut into this other one. Later. Feel the burn.
Huge.